fire the colors. Ladies and gentlemen, we proudly present, under the direction of Mr. Ricky Harvey and Assistant Director Ms. Michelle Haverfield, the 2016-2017 edition of the Cambridge High School Bobcat Marching Band. Student leaders are Corps Captain Ian Hugans, Color Guard Captain Abby Hoffman and Cindy Love, and the rest of our leadership team. Color Guard Instructor is Rachel Harvey. Leading the band on the field is drum major Ayana Williams. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the singing of the Cambridge High School alma mater.
Hey, Quentin.
Gentlemen, please wave your hats as we join the band and sing our national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner. Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to McFarland Stadium. Tonight, your Bobcats host the Logan Chieftains from Logan High School. They are part of the Southeastern Ohio Athletic League. Tonight's officials, as assigned by the Ohio High School Athletic Association: Jeff Fuller, Mike Rittenauer, Jim Range, John Hout, and Todd Libator. Tonight's game weather forecast brought to you by ABC Communications. A 30% chance of showers mainly after the game. Winds will be light and variable coming out of the southwest at 6 to 10 miles per hour through the duration of the game. Temperature at kickoff will be 82 degrees. Halftime will be around 74. For your drive home, clear skies with lows around 64 degrees.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome once again to high school football on ESPN Cambridge tonight. Week 4 of the high school football season has the Bobcats back in the friendly confines of McFarland Stadium. The 3-0 Bobcats taking on the 0-3 Logan Chieftains. Bill Kafuri here tonight, along with John Charlton in color. Paul Eric, our spotter tonight, is the Bobcats. John, it's hard to believe this is week 4. We're almost halfway through the season. Of course, it still feels like summer on the field tonight. It is a hot and humid night once again, and will the weather ever relent?
Well, you're going to sit around here in about 4 weeks, like with sweatshirts and jackets on, because it's going to get so cold. But I'll tell you what, right now, you almost wish it was about 10 or 15 degrees cooler, just for the players' sake. It's pretty comfortable as a fan, but as a player, you'd like it to be a little cooler than this.
3-0 Bobcats, and all 3 of those games, close games that pretty much came down to the fourth quarter, and in a couple of cases, the last couple of weeks, the final possession for the Bobcats, and they found a way to get it done. They made the plays they had to make. Maybe a little luck and a good bounce here or there involved, but that's the nature of football.
You know what, the Bobcats, you can say that it came down to a missed pass or a drop pass or an interception or a play at the end, but you know what, there's a whole bunch of plays, 140 some to 160 plays in a game, and every one of those counts, and it doesn't come down to just one play. You have to go back and look at all of them, and now the Bobcats have made it exciting, guarantee you that. It's 26-19 win at Indian Creek, 17-13 here against John Glenn, 13-6 last week at Canton South, and the last 2 games have to have a defensive stop to win the game. And I tell you what, I think a little bit of that is winning breeds confidence, and this team is growing in confidence. And they're playing against an 0-3 Logan team tonight, and I think there's a team they're gaining confidence too, as their scores they're getting a little closer. They scored some touchdowns last week, and they were a good team last year. So those kids know how to win, even though they lost 20 lettermen off that team from last year.
And if you read some of the pregame stuff from the Chieftains and Coach Burke, he said really the difference in his team, there's certainly some talent differences. They lost 18 seniors from a year ago. But the fact is that they don't have that confidence. They haven't won a game yet.
Right.
They've gotten closer, shut out the first 2 times they played this year by some pretty good football teams, and then last week losing basically by a touchdown with a chance to win it late, and they weren't able to punch it in. So I kind of see this game, maybe even though the records certainly aren't similar, it's going to be a pretty close ball game.
Well, certainly the Bobcats went down to Logan last year and felt like, even though they lost by, I think, 2 touchdowns, it was 47-31, they were close the whole game, and Logan got a couple late scores, and they think that maybe they let one get away down there. They might have been able to get a win down there last year, and I know that they feel pretty confident that they can get a win up here this year.
Well, and obviously you've seen the Cats play throughout the preseason and certainly the early part of the season. And there have been different elements of the game that have improved, and there's some things that they continue to need to work on a little bit. Absolutely.
I think the one thing that's impressive this year is their run defense has been very good. They've been able to get a lot of stops, and but one of the bugaboos that stays with them is they still give up those big plays every now and then. And I think of all the touchdowns scored against them, I think there's been 5 touchdowns scored against them. I think they're all come on plays that have been 50, 60 yards or longer. And so they need to make sure they don't give up those big plays and then continue to play that really tough run defense. And I think that's going to work to their advantage tonight because Logan does not like to throw the ball. They like to run the ball this year.
I thought the interesting part of last week's game was that the game 6-6 fourth quarter and about 3.5 minutes to go, and the Bobcats drive 90 yards for that go-ahead score, and it's 13-6. And then you turn around and hand the ball back to Canton South with about a minute and a half to go. And a big play later, they're on the 5-yard line, 1st and goal to go. And that was a little deflating that they were able to, a team that didn't throw the ball well a week ago, but they got a big
play. Moved down the field quickly
and
they
had some quickness and took advantage of a matchup they had on the field. And before you know it, the Bobcats had their back against the wall, but they made plays that they had to make and came out of it with a win. And sometimes, like you said before, the ball has to bounce your way, and you got to, it is a fine line sometimes between a win and a loss.
Well, it's a game of inches, right, Bill?
It is a game of inches, and the Bobcats hopefully will take advantage of some of those inches tonight as game time just about upon us. You're listening to high school football on ESPN Cambridge. Our pregame brought to you by Second Chances Retail tonight. Update your fall wardrobe and get your sports apparel at Second Chances Retail on Woodlawn Avenue in Cambridge. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back, set the opening lineup for you right after these messages.
Community television, Cambridge Cable TV 2, and worldwide at yourradioplace.com.
ABC Sports presents Cambridge High School Bobcat Football. Tonight's game is brought to you by Southeastern Med, Whitesides of Cambridge, Theo's Restaurant, Cambridge Classic 4, and Area Agency on Aging Region 9.
Advanced, patient-centered orthopedic care. The precise treatment you need. Because balancing your life is so much easier with orthopedic care right here at home. Southeastern Med, your community hospital.
Cambridge Classic Ford in downtown Cambridge prides themselves on offering the largest inventory and the best customer service in the area. Visit their lot and experience the Classic Difference. The Classic Difference provides customers a service above and beyond what you'll find anywhere else. Their service department, body shop, and parts department strive for the best service and pricing in southeastern Ohio. Stop by the lot and browse their large selection of new and pre-owned inventory, ask about easy financing, or schedule an oil change. That's Cambridge Classic Ford in downtown Cambridge. Stop by and experience the Classic Difference for yourself.
Do you or someone you know need assistance paying for prescription medications? The Area Agency on Aging Region 9 is working to identify Medicare beneficiaries who may qualify for the Extra Help program. This program can assist to help pay prescription drug costs, monthly premiums, annual deductibles, co-pays, and provide gap coverage which is associated with the Medicare prescription drug plan. Please contact our office at 740-435-4904 to see if you qualify.
Get 0% for 60 months on select models now during the savings celebration at Whitesides of Cambridge. Hot deals on new 2016s like a Buick Encore, 20% off, just $23.07. A professional grade GMC Sierra 1500 decab 4x4, 20% off, priced at $33,023. A new Buick Verano for $21,775. A LaCrosse for $32,360. Or check out the all-new XT5 at your Cadillac headquarters, Whitesides of Cambridge. Whitesidesofcambridge.com, just north of I-70 on Route 209.
Rusty's hard to bring down, and I tell you what, I think the line as good as it's maybe been in a few years, and you got 2 juniors on there with Tom Arnold and Garrett Dotzel, nice big kids, and of course experience with Harrison Ogle and Tommy Moore, and then Gar says, hey, I'm I want to tired of playing fullback. I want to switch to the line and help out the team. And
what he does is the same. You block as a fullback.
That's right. He's still blocking.
You just change your number a little bit. But he has a cohort back there still, Kobe Berger, who is filling that role a little bit.
And don't forget about Jordan Arian doing a nice job in there too.
Exactly. Cody Wallace is at the tight end when they go with one. Sometimes Colton Jones when they go two. And on the outside, a whole receiving core: Marquise Hamilton, Alex Valentine, Trent Valentine, who's emerged as the go-to guy, Lee Colvin, and Logan Tuttle. All of those guys get touches from time to time. And Tuttle will be back deep along with, it looks like, William Lowe to receive the kickoff. We're getting ready to get started here. The Bobcats in their home blue unis tonight, blue tops that is, and the black pants with the blue and white stripe down the side. The shadows hitting the field a little earlier tonight, so we can almost see the scoreboard. A couple weeks ago, it was so bright you couldn't see the numbers.
It was like halftime before you knew what time had run out.
It was, and so all of our kickoffs tonight brought to you by WB Green Insurance, a hometown agency that cares about your insurance concerns. P.J. Meyer will be doing the kicking duties for the Chieftains tonight. They are in their road white tops with purple pants and helmets. Pretty good crowd, starting to fill up a little bit. And for those people from Logan, that's a little bit of a trip.
It is a good drive, as we know from going down there last year. But, and it's nice to see. I know the first home game, Cambridge against John Glenn, a couple weeks ago, really nice crowd here for Cambridge, and looking like it's going to get close to that again tonight.
The Chieftains huddling, and they'll break that huddle. And got a couple of guys actually out there squaring up to kick the ball, including Charlie Klein. So we'll see which one, whether it'll be Meyer or Klein, as they both approach, and it's going to be Meyer that squibs it down the right side. That's going to be picked up by Tuttle at the 15, breaks it back out to the middle, out around the 30-yard line. Tuttle's going to hit a wall of tacklers about the 33. So the Bobcats with decent field position to get things started here, looking for win number 4, Tommy Brining on that stop defensively, as the Chieftains come out in a 4-man defensive front, and the Bobcats take over on their own 33.
So 2 weeks ago, the Bobcats come out in double tight ends. Last week they open up with more of a spread offense. See what they do tonight.
They bring Kobe Berger out, which typically means you're going to have at least a tight end set, and it is twin receivers to the right. I formation. William Lowe, the starting tailback tonight for the Bobcats. Berger up tight. Snodgrass will go under center. 4-4 defensive look, and they'll go off tackle left side, popping it to the outside. Lowe got deep into the secondary and a step away as Colton Dixon made what probably was a touchdown saving tackle that time. Lowe got enough to get a first down. They gave him 11 on that first down carry.
Just barely a shoestring tackle there on Will Lowe.
Yeah, he popped it through, and it looked like he might have a chance to take it all the way. And so first and 10 now all the way out to the 44-yard line. Pro-I formation. Snodgrass, quick snap, and again, they'll test the right side this time, and not as much luck that way. As Lowe into a pile of tacklers. He'll gain 2, maybe 3 as he pushed the pile there. Jeremy Miner, inside linebacker, stepped up and made the stop for the Chieftains there. Initial drive of the night for the Bobcats. And they face 2nd and 8, sorry.
Bobcats have been traditionally there so far this year. They like to come out early and see if they can run the ball on the other team.
Well, now they'll pop 4 wide, 2 each way, in a shotgun set. Snodgrass will take it, look to his left, fire it out into the slot, has a man there, that's Tuttle, and he'll turn it up the field close to the line to make. Jeremy Miner hustled out there, and Tuttle caught it, came back to the ball, and then turned it up the field. And if it's not a first down, it's going to be just shy of that. And boy, looking at it from where I'm at, it's worthy of a measurement. And I think the officials may agree that they're going to take a look at it as well. And it's pretty close to where the chains are, so it shouldn't take them long. I'm going to give it to him by about an inch here, John. I don't know how good your vision is.
Mine's worse than yours.
Well,
so.
I'm sorry, he missed it by an inch. Nope,
you got it by an inch.
First down. So the Bobcats pick up their second first down of their opening drive of the night. 10:54 left here in the opening period, and that play takes the Bobcats into Chieftain territory at the 46.5-yard line. So the Cats mixing it up here a little bit early.
so far this season, the Bobcats have moved the ball well early in games, and last week getting a score on their first drive of the game.
Snodgrass checks the sideline, has the play. He'll split two guys wide to the right. Tuttle in the slot, Hamilton on the outside in the I formation again. Below the deep back. And a handoff. Well, fake play action rolling to his right. Snodgrass in trouble. Turned to reverse his field, and he's going to be sacked and thrown down for a considerable loss. And number 86, Carter Hodson, was one of those guys on the stop. And then 86 for the Chieftains was Sam Hall, who came in there from the far side. A loss all the way back to the Bobcat 48-yard line. And it'll be second down and about 16 or 17 for the Cats. And Snodgrass looked to his initial receiver. There was nobody there.
Yeah, he tried to roll out, and they actually had pretty good contain on him, too, and kind of boxed him in there.
For the Cats again, we'll go double wide slot. Hayhurst checks in. This time, or check that net. I believe Lowe stays in at that tailback. Snodgrass takes the snap, fires it again, out to Tuttle in the slot. He catches it, makes one guy miss, a second, and then inside the 45-yard line of the Chieftains, he'll get about 10 on that play and bring up a third and makeable opportunity here for the Bobcats. Jensen Wallace on the stop defensively for Logan. Third and 5, and almost, I've seen Coach Gunn at times this year. This is almost 4-down territory. Now let's see what they opt to do here on 3rd and 5. Double wide set to each way. Low offset to the right of Snodgrass. Shotgun set. Takes the snap, rolling to his right, looks it quickly into the flat, has it out there, completed to Trent Valentine. Valentine will haul it in. He has just enough to move those sticks again, and that shows you a little confidence in the Bobcat passing game. There's a Coach Gunn that I know of, not too distant past, that 3rd and 5 meant we're going to run it twice. That was a quick pass for a first down.
They are saying they are moving it now.
Fought the ball at the 36-yard line. Impressive drive for the Bobcats here to open things up. And, if you think back throughout the season so far, that Cambridge's opening drive, just about every game, has been one that has been pretty good, except sometimes for mistakes that have hurt themselves. Tonight, they've been mistake-free so far, knock on wood.
That's one thing they've kind of cut down those mistakes, although they still have those. They need to cut down on them a little bit more. 4
wide again. Offset to the left is Low. He'll take it off the handoff, straight up the middle, has a seam to the 30, inside the 30, down to about the 27-yard line. Jeremy Weaver combines on the stop that time with Caden McQuaid, and that's close to another first down. He'll pick up about 8. And the Bobcats having some success with the running game here and keeping the defense on its heels a little bit, mixing it up. The second down called at 1.5 yards. Ball spotted at the 27 of Logan. 8-minute mark coming up. Again, 3 wide to the left for the Cats, 1 to the right. Now hand it off again to Lowe. Makes a cut inside, reverses his field, trying to get all the way back. Nearly lost the ball in the backfield. He's going to go down. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage, and that was a magician's trick there to do that much. He gave up on the play pretty quickly and reversed his field and nearly just lost the ball as he tried to switch arms.
It looks like he lost about 1 yard, but he was trying to go to the right side, and rather than put his head down and just barrel ahead, he decides to switch direction and ends up losing 1 yard.
Colton Dixon on the stop, and a man down. Tyler Cummins on the field for Logan, and they're going to come out and attend to him. And while they do that, we'll take a quick break. 7:42 left here in the opening quarter. Still no score. Bobcats, though, on the move. We'll take a break. Be back right after this.
Fumble much.
Back at McFarland Stadium, opening quarter. 7:42 remains here as the Bobcats have taken the opening kickoff, and now with nearly half the period gone, find themselves just about in the red zone, facing a 3rd and 3 at the Logan 28-yard line.
One of the things the Bobcats have been able to do this year is put together some drives where they eat up clock, and I tell you what, that helps your defense out a ton and keeps the other team's defense on the field a lot. So it's really beneficial both ways.
Twin receiver set to the left side. I formation as Berger ahead of Lowe in the backfield. Snodgrass will hand it to Lowe, straight ahead, hit at the line of scrimmage, trying to push the stick forward. He'll not get the first down, and it's going to be a 4th down call for the Bobcat. Dakota Dement on the stop defensively for the Chieftains. He got about a yard back here, and the Cats going to face 3rd and 2.
It looks like the Bobcats are going to go for it here.
Yeah, coming in with the play from the sideline for the Bobcats is Connor Lepla, 6'3" junior. As Bobcats make a couple of other substitutions, and it looks like they're going to go with that 4 wide set. And we've seen them already a couple of times in this drive throw that short pass in the flat in a very similar circumstance. 3 wide to the right. Lepla splits wide to the left. Low in the backfield with Snodgrass. He takes the snap. He'll roll to his right, pitches it out. That's the option play. Inside to 30, inside to 25. Lowe still on his feet. He fights for the first down all the way down near the 21-yard line. That's not certainly what I was expecting. Corey Henthorne hustled out there and made the play, but not until the Cats pick up their 4th first down of this drive and extend into the red zone now, or just outside it, the 21-yard line.
That was some tough running by Will Lowe, as you talked about a little bit earlier. He puts his head down. He's a big, strong boy. He can really bowl some people over and gain some yards.
Cats stay 4 wide, 3 to the left. Hamilton alone wide out to the right. Snodgrass and Lowe in the backfield. Snodgrass takes the snap. Lowe again straight ahead, has a little bit of a seam, and then stood up about the 17, fights his way down inside the 15. Jeremy Weaver once again stepped up and met him in the hole, but not until Lowe gets a pretty nice gain. Got him about 7, which was the 11th play of this drive. The Cats have used up now under 6 minutes to play. Pretty impressive drive here. You got to come out of this with some points. They're in Leaper field goal range, no doubt. Again, a 4 wide set. 2nd down, short. Snodgrass checks the defense, takes it again, hands it off to Lowe. Nice hole off the left side, inside the 10 to the 5, inside the 5, down to the 2. There is a huge hole off the left side there as Jeremy Weaver made the stop again. Charlton and Ogle working hard off that left side, and there was a massive hole there that you and I could have gone side by side through that.
Tell you what, the Bobcats do a nice job with those. They got some quick linemen this year. They can pull them and trap a little bit up there, and they're doing some nice things. Coach Gunn has always done a good job as a line coach of different ways of blocking plays.
Cats 1st and goal on the 1-yard line. Power I set. Offset to the right side. Snodgrass will take the quarterback sneak, take it himself, and no sign from the officials. There it is. Touchdown as the Bobcats at the 5:13 mark get the initial lead here in the first period. 12, call it 13 plays, and the Bobcats take it 67 yards and lead it 6-0 as Leaper comes on for the extra point attempt.
Excellent drive by the Bobcats. No mistakes on that drive. Ran the ball hard. They were able to get a couple passes when they needed to.
Mixed it up well.
And I tell you, the key play might have been that 4th down play where they run the option, which is, like you said, Bill, kind of unexpected. We haven't seen the Bobcats run a lot of options like that.
Snodgrass with the hold. He gets it down. The kick is up, and it is good. 5:13 remains here in the opening quarter. Your Ford Tire and Service scoreboard update. Bobcats 7, Chieftains nothing. We'll be back right after this. Back at McFarland Stadium, Bobcats take the opening kickoff and methodically pound it down the field. 4 first downs, and 13 plays later, the Cats hit pay dirt. Nathan Snodgrass from a yard out. Leaper's kick is good, and the Bobcats on top 7-0. That was a time-consuming drive as well, John.
Absolutely. We're down to 5:13 on the clock, and I got to do math on that, but it's like, what, 6 minutes
and change?
37, something like that. But a nice drive by the Bobcats. That's what they want to do. They want to eat clock up.
Yeah, that eliminates opportunities for the other team. Of course, the Cats have given up some big plays, hoping to eliminate that as the season goes on. Especially kind of started out giving up big plays. The defense, though, has been tough when they needed to be. Leaper on for our WB Green kickoff. Back deep for the Chieftains inside the 5-yard line. And this one's going to be hit to the far side. That's going to be Brady Walsh, who's going to take it at the 5 out to the 15, 20, and across the 20-yard line. He's tagged down there. Actually, Jensen Wallace that time. Bringing it up the field. Dalton Taylor on the stop for the Bobcats. So the Chieftains take over their first touch of the night on offense at the 5:07 mark. And they're down 7-0, and they'll start with it on their own 28. Bobcats defensive front. Let's go William Lowe, Tom Arnold on the outside, Dosta Lamore on the inside, Berger and Charlton the inside backers for the Bobcats, Hayhurst and Hamilton on the outside. They'll set the deep backs after this play. Brady Walsh, the quarterback, goes under center. A one-back set behind him. As the Cats showing blitz, Walsh will take it on the stretch play to the left side, and the flag comes in as he tried to work it to Jeremy Miner, the deep back. Tom Brining, Jensen Wallace, and Landon Little, the outbacks, the wide receivers, and that's going to be a false start against the Chieftains, who begin their night with a penalty. So check it, 1st and 15.
It looks like a couple changes on that front line. Harrison Ogle in there tonight with Tommy Moore.
Ogle in there, right in the middle. Bobcats with quickness on the outside. Arnold and Lowe. I'll tell you what, Lowe is so quick off the ball.
As a defensive end, he's just impossible to block.
Pretty tough to block. 4 wides now as Walsh goes to a shotgun set. Minor offset to his right side. 1st and 15. Bobcats bring in a high snap. It goes through Walsh's hands. He's going to be drugged down in the backfield, and right on cue, William Lowe from his defensive end spot. Or Hamilton, actually, I think, came in from that outside backer spot, and he'll come up with the sack. A loss of about a yard there as Hamilton slicing in there, and the Chieftains have not started well here. A penalty and kind of a botched snap there, and they find themselves 2nd and long.
I know a lot of teams like to run that shotgun snap, but I tell you what, you got to have it right on the numbers, or it's a problem every time.
Pistol set this time for Walsh, has a tailback behind him and a back offset to the right side. 2 wideouts, and all the way across in motion from right to left comes one of them. They'll hand it off to the deep back. That's Miner straight ahead. He'll run right into the arms of Garth Charlton, and that'll be a short gain and bring up 3rd and long. Maybe a couple yards gained on that play for the Chieftains, who almost like they gave up on trying to pass the ball after those first couple plays. So 3rd down and call it 15 for the Chieftains from their own 23. Bobcats anticipating a pass play here, bring in an extra DB, and they'll go nickel here as Berger checks out. And they'll go 3 wides. Miner offset to the left side of Walsh. Man in motion all the way across. Walsh will fake it him on the keeper, head up off the right side. He'll not get enough to get the 1st down. He'll pick up about maybe 6 as Hamilton again for the Cats on the stop, along with Charlton. And it'll be 4th down, and T.J. Meyer is going to come on to punt the ball away for the Chieftains. Back deep for the Cats. The good hands man, Trent Valentine.
Trent does a great job catching the ball, which is the most important thing. He doesn't let it bounce back there and roll for extra yardage for the opposing team. He also has the capability of taking it back a little ways.
This one, a fake by Meyer off the left side. He's going to try to hustle up the field. He's going to get enough for that 1st down. Unbelievable. Meyer is a lineman, by the way, as Alex Valentine comes up and makes that play, but from your own 31-yard line, that's hardly what you expect to have happen.
I don't think it was a fake. I think it was a bad snap and had some pressure, and just kind of eluded the kids diving at the ball and able to pick up the 1st down.
Able to chase it down, didn't have much else to do. And of course, that is a lineman's dream, as you well know, for anything bad to happen so that you can run with the ball and then to pick up a 1st down, or, as we saw happen a week ago, maybe even get a touchdown.
Get a touchdown on that.
So the Chieftains keep that drive alive with an impossible play, you might imagine. T.J. Meyer, a 6'1", 220-pound offensive defensive lineman, who just happened to be the punter too. And he was a load to bring down. Got it all the way out to the 43-yard line.
Well, that's one of the situations where the receiving team turns their backs and kind of heads away, thinking it's going to be punted, and it then doesn't get punted.
We have a timeout on the field. With that timeout, we'll take it as well. 2:29 left here in the opening period. 7-0. Bobcats on top. We'll be back right after this. Stadium. Boca Fury John Charlton with the call tonight. Paul Eric, our spotter, is starting to, I can't tell if it's cooling down out there, John, but it's got to be cooler out there than it is in this
say it's
press
not
box.
cooling down in here at all, that's for
No,
sure.
it is not. First and 10 for Logan at their own 43-yard line. Cats lead at 7-0 after the fake punt, or actually botched punt, by the Chieftains. And
you almost feel like if the Bobcats didn't get a good rush on it, he would have punted it away and we'd have the ball right now.
Riley Nelson split out wide to the right, along with Jensen Wallace. Pistol set in the backfield. Walsh with Miner behind him. Bobcats showing blitz. They'll hand it off. Miner straight ahead. He's going to run right into Hayhurst. And also for the Bobcats, Dalton Taylor. And that's going to be a loss on the play. So the Chieftains have struggled when they've had to run their regular offense. Maybe they line up in punt formation a little bit more. That's been good for them tonight.
Might work. I don't know.
2nd and 12. Bobcat defense, when they've been able to line up and get set, they have been tough so far tonight.
They've been tough against the run all year long.
Wide to the right is Nelson. Again, Wallace to the left. And that ball batted up in the air nearly.
Backwards,
picked off there. Nice job that time. Again, coming in from the outside, Rusty Hayhurst. The Bobcats bringing it on the outside tonight. We've seen Hamilton. That time Hayhurst came in, blocked it up into the air, and then everybody chasing it down. It'll fall incomplete. 3rd and 12. As the clock stopped with 1:49 left here in the opening period. 7-0. Bobcats took the opening drive, 67 yards, methodically pounding it away, and now trying to get it back with a defensive stand here, facing 3rd and long.
The second defensive stand of this drive.
Yeah, 3rd and long with 3 wide to the left. That's the short side of the field, and 1 wide receiver to the right. That's the wide side for the Chieftains. Walsh takes it. He's going to go on the keeper, and thinking that they might spread the defense out. And Bobcats, Austin Stage in there, as well as I think Tommy Moore had a piece of that one as well. I think actually Garrett Dostal instead of Stage might have a piece of that as well. And no gain, and it's going to bring up another 4th down situation. And I would like to think that this time the Bobcats may be in what they call a punt hold, where everybody makes sure that guy punts the ball.
Yeah, let him punt it away. It's only going to benefit you.
Meyer back on, as he'll have a couple of gunners on the outside. Back deep again for the Cats is Trent Valentine. Good snap this time for Meyer. He'll step into it. Low end-over-end kick. Valentine's going to let it hit, and it's going to take a Bobcat bounce at about the 28-yard line. That's where it's going to be down by the Chieftains. The Cats will take the ball with the lead. 1:01 left here in the first period. Cats will start with the ball on their own 28.
Now, in past games, the Bobcats have done well early on. The first drive, get that first score, then they kind of stall out. And it'd be nice if they could just put together a second drive in a row and eat up some more clock here.
And you know, that's, I think, a factor, too, is you hate to say conditioning, but there's a lot of those guys playing both ways.
Absolutely right.
You know, at what point do you get your second win? And some of them, you know, you're going to rest. Guys are going to rest on some play. Do you rest on defense? Do you rest on offense? 1st and 10 for the Cats from their own 28. Out of the shotgun set, 4 wides, 2 each way. And a handoff inside. That's Hayhurst straight ahead. He lowers his shoulder and runs right through a defender out across the 30-yard line near the 32. Jeremy Weaver stepped up, and he took a lick that time from Hayhurst, who just lowered his shoulder, got about 4 tough yards, and the Bobcats face 2nd and about 6.
Yeah, you know, a couple years ago, Rusty was running real straight up and down, and he's learned to get that tilt to him. And this year, he's even put, like I said, lowering the shoulder and lowering the boom on some people.
Laplow wide to the left, Tuttle in the slot. Alex Valentine to the right. Fake inside to Hayhurst, flip it out. On the outside, that's actually Lee Colvin, I believe, with that catch. And he's going to work his way up the field and across the 40-yard line where Colton Dixon made the stop. But the Bobcats are going to move those sticks again. Their 5th first down of the night, as they reset the chains with 19 seconds left here in the first quarter. Bobcats quickly come right out and seize control offensively again. That'll probably be the final play of this opening quarter, and it will be, as the Cats are going to take a 7-0 lead into the second period. More football coming up on ESPN Cambridge right after this.
Advanced, patient-centered orthopedic care. The precise treatment you need. Because balancing your life is so much easier with orthopedic care right here at home. Southeastern Med, your community hospital.
Second period, Bobcats 1st and 10 from their own 40-yard line. Handoff straight ahead to Hayhurst. And he puts the ball on the ground and got it hit hard there. And Logan says they have it. The officials agree. That's going back to the Chieftains. And Johnson. We check that for the Chieftains. Tyler Cummins on the stop. Come up with that loose ball. So the Bobcats turn it over. That's something, John, they haven't done much of.
They haven't done a lot this year, but one time is too many as far as I think the coaches are concerned.
Yeah, so that's going to set Logan up in great field position, down 7-0. 11:38 here in the second period. They're going to have the ball on the Bobcat 48-yard line.
Bobcats have been doing pretty well on defense. 2 3-and-outs technically, and only 1 3-and-out actually because of the fake punt. But the Bobcats need to hold them here.
3 wide. Bobcats showing blitz. Walsh takes the snap, looks down the right. He throws it deep down the right side. One-on-one coverage, ball batted up in the air. And Logan Tuttle came down with it, but that was out of bounds. But pretty good coverage there. Tuttle that time guarding Jensen Wallace down the right sideline. And the Chieftains came out and took a shot, after the turnover, trying to go deep and maybe catch the defense sleeping. Pretty good coverage.
Logan Tuttle does a good job. He's got good speed. He can stay with most receivers he faces. His only downfall maybe is he's not very tall. So a lot of times you'll see other teams try to match up a tall receiver against him.
Tuttle 5'6", 130-pound sophomore. As again, the Chieftains go 2 wide to the left, 1 split to the right. Walsh, 2nd and 10. Bobcats showing blitz. They're bringing it. Walsh back to pass. Pop pass over the middle. Finds his tight end. That's going to be Tommy Brining. And he's going to have it close to a first down. Rusty Hayhurst on the stop. Is Brining, actually, they kind of lined up in a trip set, but they'll sneak that tight end out. And that's going to make it 3rd down and about 2 for the Chieftains. They're at the Cambridge 39. They need to get to about the 37 to keep this drive alive. Mixing it up a little bit now. They'll go with that pistol set. 2 backs in the backfield with Walsh. The deep back is Minor. And a blocking back in front of him. The handoff, Minor straight ahead. He'll pop it to the 40, outside the 35, down the right sideline, inside the 35-yard line, and pushed out of bounds. Alex Valentine got a shove at him, and that's going to be enough for the first down, as Minor showing some speed that time as he popped it down the right sideline all the way. They're going to mark him out of bounds at the Cambridge 18-yard line. Good as Cambridge's defense has played throughout this first half, now they find themselves backs against the wall, leading 7-0.
Bobcats all inside that time, looking for a quick hit up the middle, and they go outside, bounces it outside for the big gain.
2 tight end set. Walsh with Minor once again in the pistol set behind him. Line goes down. They'll hand it off straight ahead. Minor again pops it weak side off the trap play inside the 10, dragging Valentine down to about the 4-yard line, and they've found a play as this offense where they work it off the left side and Minor cuts it back, a little trap play back to the weak side. And right now having success with that. It's going to be 1st and goal to go for the Chieftains.
Picked up 35 yards in the last 2 plays.
Minor offset beside Brady in the backfield now. Again, a 2 tight end set. Fires it out in the left flat, and that's going to be completed. A 4-yard touchdown pass out there to Jensen Wallace, and almost what you would consider a running situation, 1st and goal to go. But a 4-yard pass from Walsh to Wallace, and the Chieftains are just a point down now.
Logan able to cash in on that turnover and a couple big plays there, and I tell you, momentum was going Cambridge as well.
So with 10:23 to go, trying on for the extra point attempt to try to tie this up. Good snap, holds down. It's a short kick, but straight, and it is going to make it 7-7 our score. 10:23 left here in the first half. We'll be back right after this.
At the end of the first quarter, Tri-Valley 3, Hicksville 3.
.23 left here in the second period. The Chieftains take advantage of a Bobcat fumble and take it 48 yards in 5 plays. The dagger, a 4-yard pass from Walsh to Jensen Wallace. Just the second touchdown pass for him here through the season, but taking advantage of mistakes and trying to eliminate mistakes. And right there, the Bobcats making a mistake and Logan taking advantage of it.
Yeah, that's right. The fumble cost the Bobcats that time. Is Logan able to convert on that, and a quick drive too with a couple big runs in there, and the uncharacteristic of the Bobcats to give up those 20-yard chunk runs.
WB Green kickoff coming up again. Klein and Meyer will both approach the ball. We'll see which one kicks it as they approach from 2 different angles. And Meyer approaches, and he's going to do the kick again. A squib kick. It's going to go down the right sideline, hit off of Tuttle's helmet. He'll pick it up at the 25. Take it up the left sideline, 30, 35, and out around the 40-yard line. Logan Tuttle showing some quickness there. Almost squirmed his way into pay dirt as Aaron Jackson got just enough of him to shove him out of bounds. So the Bobcats will have pretty good field position, but this game tied up, and you know, if you're the Bobcat coaching staff, you got to be shaking your head here about the mistakes that they've made that allowed the Chieftains getting good field position.
Absolutely, you do exactly what you want to do the whole first quarter. You eat up a bunch of clock on a long drive, get a touchdown, you get the defense playing well, and then Logan's able to take advantage of a turnover and get a quick score.
4 wides for the Bobcats. Back in the backfield is Lowe, offset to the left side. He'll have the handoff right side. Nice hole. 45-50 across the 50-yard line. Tripped up in the secondary that time. Jensen Wallace defensively on the stop, but Lowe having a good night. Has had a couple of nice runs here in this first half. That one for another double-digit gainer and another Cambridge first down. Cats quickly out of the huddle, back to the line. 3 wide to the left, 1 set wide to the right, and Lowe in the backfield with Snodgrass. They'll work him again, this time off the left side. He'll cut it back inside the 40 down to about the 38. What didn't look like there was a whole lot there ended up being about a 5-yard gain.
Looked like a little bit of second effort, like he just kind of stopped or maybe paused on the initial charge and then was able to keep his feet moving and pick up a couple more yards.
Carter Hodson on the stop for the defense. 2nd and 5 Bobcats from the 42. 9:38 and counting, tied 7-7. Bobcats trying to get the go-ahead score. Again, Lowe on the keeper. Snodgrass faking it to Lowe, and the defense not fooled that time as Snodgrass trying to sneak it around the left end. Not much there as Casey Heft up to make the stop.
Bobcats like to run that read option, and Snodgrass kept it that time and unsuccessful on the run.
Snodgrass, in my opinion here in the first half of the season, has been much better taking that ball between the tackles than he has been trying to take it outside.
He's a big kid for a quarterback and can run up between the tackles and gain some yardage that way.
Lepla is going to spread wide to the left, 2 wide to the right for the Bobcats, facing 3rd and long. Snodgrass rolling to his right, look down, has a man in the slot, and that is just off the hands of his intended receiver, Trent Valentine. Valentine was open, but Snodgrass just a little high with that one, and it would have been enough for a first down, and the Cats now facing 4th down from the 39, and Cambridge runs in what appears to be the punt team, but we've seen stranger things happen already here tonight.
Last week, able to run that fake punt pass to Cooper Kearns, as Snodgrass is your up back on this, and it's possible they might want to run that again tonight.
Well, Cooper Kearns is the up back in this case.
It's not going to be thrown to him then.
Leaper is the deep back. As he is punting away, they'll snap it back. Leaper is going to take a step to his right now. He's going to take off with it. He's to the 40, 35, has the first down and more inside the 30 down the right sideline. He's going to take it to the house from 39 yards out on the fake punt. Alex Leeper. And I'll tell you what, he does have some speed.
He's got state track meet qualifying 100-yard dash speed, and he just demonstrated it there on that 39-yard run.
Wow. Well, you and I were both kind of expecting something. That wasn't what it was,
No,
but
it wasn't. Usually you don't have the punter run, but in this case with someone as fast as he is, you can take advantage of that.
So now Leeper, let's see if he can contain his enthusiasm here. That's his first varsity touchdown. He'll add the extra point. High snap, the hold is down. Plenty of leg on that one, and it is true to its mark. 14-0. Bobcat on top of the Chieftains. We'll be back right after this. Back at McFarland Stadium, your Ford Tire Service update. 14-7 Bobcats here. That's Ford Tire and Service on 424 Steubenville Avenue. And the Bobcats come right back and take the lead back. Pretty good drive that stalled a little bit. They looked like they were going to punt the ball away, and Alex Leeper took the punt, and you and I were both saying that kind of a little rugby look at it as he took off to his right, looking to kind of punt it or run it, and the defense just peeled away.
Yeah,
and,
much like we did when Logan was able to capitalize and make a first down on a pump play as well. But, yeah, it looked like he had the option whether he could kick it on that rugby style or if it was open, run with it.
WB Green kickoff. Leeper gets all of this one. You can think the adrenaline flowing in that young man.
Maybe
about
a little bit.
8 yards deep in the end zone. It has been the Alex Leeper show here in the last minute and a half. Takes one to the house, adds the extra point, now booms it in the end zone, and that is a coach's best friend when you can eliminate any kind of returns right there. And
I tell you, I've been saying it all year. In high school, if you can kick it into the end zone, do it, because there's not many teams that can get you inside a 20-yard line.
the Chieftains will take over down a touchdown here with 8:39 left in the second period.
And as you said, it had to be adrenaline because there's no wind blowing here. The flags are draping.
Flags is straight down. Chieftains come out, twin receivers to the left side. Walsh out of that pistol set, minor set deep behind him. Bobcats once again have shown some blitz from the outside. They do here. And a quick pass out into the left flat. That is completed. Coverage out there by the Bobcats. Scotty Minnis on the catch. Completed on the outside there to trying to see. I think that was Riley Nelson.
Number 33.
33, yes. Riley Nelson on the catch, about a 5-yard gain for the Chieftains, and they'll face 2nd and 5 as they're trying to mix it up a little bit. Walsh pretty good on the short pass. And he's got Nelson wide to the right this time with Landon Little. One receiver split to his left, 2nd and 5. Again, the Bobcats showing blitz from the outside. They'll hand it off inside to Minor. Or actually Walsh on the keeper that time. Faked it to Minor, tried to get outside, and Dalton Taylor over there getting it done. He wasn't fooled a bit.
Came right in and made that tackle nice. And
loss of about 3.5 on the play is going to be now 3rd and about 8, maybe 9 for the Chieftains. So Cambridge's defensive line once again stepping up here. 7.5 minutes left, opening half. 14-7 Bobcats, 3rd and long, Logan. Walsh checking the defense, steps up, makes a call, now back into that pistol set. Takes the snap, hand off to Minor, straight ahead. Minor works it back on the counter, and looked like Cody Wallace that time able to spin him down, but Minor picked up 6, maybe 7, but not enough to move the sticks here, and it'll be 4th down and about 3 or 4. And we see the punt team come on, and that hasn't meant anything here so far tonight. T.J. Meyer back in punt formation. 6'1", 220-pounder. Number 76 back for the Bobcats. Trent Valentine stands at his own 40. Low snap. Meyer's going to pick it up. Barely got that one off, as looked like Kobe Berger might even have got a piece of it. It will roll right out to the 50-yard line and take a Logan bounced into the Bobcat end of the field about the 47. So pretty good field position for the Bobcats there, but Meyer was lucky he even got that punt off.
Kobe Berger has a knack for getting to the kicker. He's got 2 extra point blocks this year, and almost get a punt block there as well.
So the Bobcats in pretty good field position yet again. Start near midfield. Have all of their timeouts remaining and 6:30 on the clock. And a timeout's going to be taken on the field. We're going to take it with them with the Bobcats on top 14-7. We'll be back right after this. Back in McFarland Stadium, 6.5 minutes left, second period, as the Bobcats on top 14-7. Cambridge scored on their initial drive of the night, only to see Logan come back and tie this one up early second period after a Bobcat fumble. Now the Bobcats have the ball back after a fake punt. Alex Leeper has scored to give the Cats the edge again, and now Cambridge in an opportunity to extend this lead.
Tell you what, it would be nice as a fan and a parent of the Bobcats to not have a one of those heart attack type games at the end. It'd be nice to have a couple score lead.
1st and 10, low in the backfield. They fake it to him. Back to pass. Snodgrass looks out in the left flat. Nobody there as he had a man scrambling around the backfield. He's going to lose a couple. He looked down the left side for Connor Lepla, and Lepla had pulled up on his route, and I think Snodgrass was ready to launch that one deep down the sideline, but the coverage was deep, and Lepla read the route to come back. And I don't think Snodgrass was ready to pull the trigger on that, and hence he'll lose a couple.
He also had a little bit of pressure on him, too. As
Carter Hodson on the stop that time with that pressure. 3 wide to the right, 1 to the left. 2nd and long for the Bobcats. Fake inside again, pass out into the right flat. That's completed. Trent Valentine, 50, 45, still on his feet down the right sideline. Then lost the ball on the ground, and I think that Logan probably came up with it. The officials are going to agree. So the Bobcats once again, Tyler Cummins, as the Cats fumble it away again. And Cummins, the same guy that picked it up last time. He recovered 2 Bobcat fumbles, and that time Trent Valentine had the first down. It looked like he kind of lost his balance, and as he stumbled forward, lost control of the ball down at the 30-yard line of Logan, and that's where they're going to take over with 5:44 left here in the second period. Cambridge on top 14-7, but boy, again, shake your head at the problems the Cats have had holding on to the ball tonight.
You know, especially when you got the first down easy, just you don't have to strive for extra yards, just get down.
A Walsh in a pistol set, faking it, rolling out to his right, firing it deep down the right sideline. Tuttle down there battling with the 6'4" Logan Brenning. And Brenning at 6'4", 160 pounds, but he certainly had the advantage that time on Tuttle. But Tuttle able to go and meet that ball at its peak and knock it down.
Brenning did not do a good job of going up and catching that ball at its peak. If he would have done that, he'd probably been over top of Tuttle.
At 6'4" versus 5'6". So Logan a couple of times tonight, they have certainly read their playbook and their scouting report. They know to attack the shortest of the defensive backs, but they haven't had any success doing that so far. 2nd and 10. Clock stop, 5:38 here in the second period. Motion, Nelson all the way across. He's going to take the jet sweep, trying to get outside to the right side. And for the Bobcats, good defensive play that time as Alex Valentine comes up along with Cody Wallace. And it'll be a short gain on the play, making it 3rd down and about 9. So the Cats, with a stop here, could get the ball back with plenty of time left in the half, but they have made some uncharacteristic mistakes here so far in the first half, putting the ball on the ground twice. One of them cost them a touchdown.
Looking for the defense to step up here and get a stop.
14-7 at the 5-minute mark. Wide to the left goes Jensen Wallace. He is the leading receiver on the season for the Chieftains. Shotgun set. Cummins in motion to the left. They'll fake it to him. Straight ahead goes Walsh. He's going to be wrapped up at the line of scrimmage. Short gain there. Dostal on the stop along with Valentine. And it will bring up another 4th down for the Chieftains in another punt situation. Now, you know, if you're the Bobcats here, you got to start thinking, too, the Chieftains have struggled on just about every punt snap. Is this a chance where you start saying, you know what, if it's going to be a bad snap and he's going to struggle, we're coming? And
well, like we said, Kobe Berger's teams have a knack for getting in there, and he's lined up over the right side this
he's
time.
there right now. Meyer back in punt formation. Valentine back deep for the Bobcats at his own 35. Meyer waiting the snap. It is a, well, bad one off to his right. Lepla's going to come back and chase him down, and he's going to tackle Meyer inside the 5-yard line. So the Bobcats take advantage of the Chieftain miscue this time as Connor Lepla makes the big play for the Cats all the way back inside the 5-yard line. So that botch snap again. And the Chieftains turn it over on the downs after the bad snap. And the Cats now in the red zone with 4 minutes to go, leading by a touchdown. Cambridge trying to tack on another one here just before halftime. It'll be 1st and goal to go from the 4.
So our poor punter, T.J. Meyer, picked up 20 yards on that first run, lost 30 on this one for a -10.
Yeah, his net's not very good tonight, is it? He's certainly run a lot more than he probably intended. Bobcats are going to come right off the sideline into a stack formation. 2 fullbacks in the backfield, low the deep back. Snodgrass is going to go under center. Pretty much 22 guys within about a 5-yard zone. The deep back low is going to take it into the end zone. He didn't get touched until he hit pay dirt. Bobcat with the TD will lead it now 20-7. One play and a touchdown as William Lowe having a pretty good first half here.
Yeah, I got him with 11 carries for 68 yards, of course, the 2 touchdowns, so that's a pretty good game for the young man so far.
And a lot to go as Snodgrass will kneel down to set the ball on the tee for Alex Leeper. 1 play and 4 yards on that drive. Good snap, holds down. Leeper steps into it, boots it through, and the Bobcats extend their lead with 3:56 left here. Your Ford Tire and Service scoreboard update, 21-7 Cats. We'll be back after this. Just about 4 minutes left here in the opening half back at McFarland Stadium. Bobcats leading now 21-7 and continued woes on the field. Both teams have had their miscues tonight. Bobcats taking advantage of the Chieftain problems with their punt snap. And on the other side, the Chieftains have taken advantage of one of the Bobcat fumbles, unable to do so a second time. And the Cats still with 3 timeouts. This half well from
yeah,
over.
it'll be interesting to see how Coach Gunn decides to use this. If you get a couple stops defensively, you might want to call a timeout on the defensive side just to get the ball back with plenty of time left.
Leaper on and booted away. Our WB Green kickoff as he approaches. Another high end-over-end kick that's going to drive Jensen Wallace into the end zone. He'll let that one go once again and bring it out to the 20-yard line. And if the Bobcat defense plays as it has so far in this first half, you got to believe Cambridge should get the ball back at least one more time. 3:56 remains here. And
well, I tell you, Logan has been passing it a lot lately. You know, the run's been stopped, so they've been trying to pass the ball, which actually a couple incomplete passes could help the Bobcats here.
Minnis checks in at defensive back for the Bobcats. He's going to cover Wallace on the right side. Riley Nilsson split to the other side, and he's going to have Tuttle on him. 1st and 10, out of the pistol set. Handoff in the backfield to Minor. He skipped through one tackle. Looked like Charlton had a piece of him in the backfield, and he bounced off that one and then tied up by Tom Arnold. Maybe he got a yard out of the play. They'll move that downs marker about a half yard at best. The Bobcat defense making it a little bit tougher on Minor to get loose in the backfield. 3.5 as the clock continues to wind down.
Got to wrap up back there.
Second, they'll call it 10. Again, 1 wide out, wide to left is Wallace, 2 to the right. Walsh back in the shotgun now. Minor offset to his left side. Bobcats showing blitz. Here they come. Walsh will roll to his left. Charlton under pressure. He'll get him and help with Arnold as the Bobcats come up with the sack. The sack attack, that's a big one, all the way back to about the 9-yard line. And the Chieftain offense going backwards again, facing 3rd and 20-plus yards here. 2:50 left in the half, and the Bobcats are going to burn one of those timeouts defensively to save a little time. We'll take it as well. 21-7, Cambridge on top, late second period. We'll be back right after this. Back in McFarland Stadium, 2:50 remaining here in the first half. Bobcat defense clawing away again at this Chieftain offense. The Cats have Logan backed up to their own 9-yard line, facing 3rd and 21. Cats still have a couple of timeouts remaining.
Smart timeout there, stop that clock from running, and especially if they can get a stop here on 3rd down. You know, Logan just coming off that really bad snap, so it could put a lot of pressure on them to have to punt one out of their own end zone.
Defensively, just kind of have to loosen up, keep everything in front of you here. 3 wides set out to the right side. Bobcats giving a little cushion out that way as well. 1 wide to the left, and Walsh back in the shotgun set. He'll take the snap, pressure to the outside, rolling back on his goal line, flips it out in the right flat. He had pressure from Charlton and Hayhurst again and throws that one away, and it will stop the clock. So the Bobcats save a timeout with that one, and had that been completed, it might have been for a minus gain anyway. And so the Cats with 2:45 left are going to drop back to receive the punt, and this is a dangerous place for Logan, who is struggling in this first half with their punt snaps. TJ Myers going to stand in his own end zone now, and the safety could be very imminent here the way he's standing on the end line.
He's throwing it back as deep as he can, it looks like.
And the Cats, actually, they've got this is a full house punt formation. A lot of times you'll see teams spread guys out in gunner sets, but not here. They're trying to protect Meyer a little bit, and the Cats are in there tight with him. So Meyer awaiting the snap. This one, a decent one. He'll step into it, get it away. Spiraling kick that drives Valentine back to the 44-yard line. He'll call for the fair catch. But the Cats are going to have excellent field position as they take over, leading 21-7 with 2:40.
Have to give credit to Meyer getting that punt away. That was, and with some pretty good distance on it. Nice job.
He's catching it, stepping into it, taking one step and pooching it away. So the Bobcats will take over at the 44 of the Chieftains.
So a 35-yard punt under pressure. That's James hat tip to him.
With no wind tonight, the Cats will come right off the sideline into a 4-wide set. 3 split out to the right side as Lowe flanks Snodgrass to the left in the backfield. Defense looking like a 2-deep zone. As Snodgrass takes the snap, hands it off inside to Lowe. He'll pop a tackle at the 40, 35, down to the 30-yard line, still on his feet. Inside the 20, and one man to beat. And that one man drags him down around the 15-yard line. And again, that's Tyler Cummins, who's had a pretty good first half with a couple of fumble recoveries, but that one saved a touchdown on that tackle. Another first down, and the Cats, with 2.5 left, are knocking on the door again. That all the way down to about the 13-yard line. Again, quickly to the line. 4 wides again. Again, the handoff low off the left side. Good push up front, but sliding off of a block that time and making the tackle is Sam Hall, 6'4" sophomore. A lot of sophomores on this team for Logan. They graduated a bunch of seniors last year, so it's kind of a trial by fire, but that'll be a loss on the play. Outside the 15-yard line, well, they'll call him back to about the 14. So no gain for William Lowe. 3 wide to the right for the Bobcats. Hamilton split wide to the left. They'll flip it out in that right flat. That's completed to Tuttle, trying to get to the sideline. Breaks one tackle. 10, 5. He'll scoot it up and into the end zone. That's going to be a touchdown. A little short pass and run that time. Logan Tuttle from 13 yards out. And the Bobcats will extend their lead. Nothing complicated about that one. The Bobcats flip it out and let Total use his legs. And you mentioned earlier how quick he is. He showed that right there.
It showed nice speed that time, a couple of little nice moves to get away from defenders. And it looked like he might have bounced off a potential tackle there as well, which you wouldn't expect from the 130-pound Tuttle, but did a nice job.
Hard to get a good look at him. He is pretty shifty. Leaper on for the extra point attempt. Snap is good. The hold is down, and the kick is good. 1:42 left here in the opening half. Bobcats extend their lead 28-7. We'll be back right after this. Back in McFarland Stadium, 1:42 left in the first half clock. Ford Tire and Service scoreboard update, 28-7 Bobcats. After the Cats gave up that touchdown to the Chieftains, it's like it lit a fire under them, and now they're scoring almost at will.
They're playing really well. They're getting a running game going, getting some big holes for William Lowe up there, and then supplementing that well with the passing game. And this is the most explosive the Bobcat offense has been all season. I think the most points they've scored. They scored 26 against Indian Creek, 28 here tonight so far.
Leaper on for our WB Green kickoff, trying to boot another one into the end zone. This one's going to drive Wallace back, and he'll watch it go over his head again. And Alex Leaper, you know, he's been inconsistent with his kicking throughout much of the early part of the season, but tonight he seemed to be catching it in the sweet spot every time.
He's really got the groove going here, and you know, a couple early ones inside the 5, which is, you know, okay, but when he can put in the end zone, you want to do that every time you can.
And probably not a lot of people aware that he also plays on the soccer team. So here's a guy splitting duty, doing football practice, and then running to soccer matches as well. And if you think it's the same thing to kick a soccer ball in a football game, no.
No, not at all.
So the Chieftains, 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Walsh with 3 wides, takes the snap. He'll drop back to pass, looks down the field, has a little time. And on the crossing route, finds Jensen Wallace underneath. He'll take it up the left sideline and out across the 40-yard line. Jensen Wallace made a couple of Bobcats miss. Alex Valentine finally shoving him out of bounds. And what was a short pass turns into a big play for the Chieftains. Bobcats just didn't have anybody in position. That was man-to-man coverage, and the defender was trailing Wallace all the way across. So the Cats with a comfortable lead, but you hate to give up a cheap one here just before halftime. 1.5 minutes left. And again, 3 wides for Logan. Wallace. And Riley Nelson has that one go right through the wickets out there on the right. Marcus Hamilton in coverage for the Bobcats. Wouldn't have been a big gain, but you like to see a receiver catch those if you're a quarterback and you hit him right in the hands. Huh?
Yes, that would be beneficial to your passing percentage for sure, among other things.
I want to thank all those listening to us on the air out there and those that may be streaming us online tonight. Hope you appreciate what we're able to give to you. The Bobcats lead at 28-7.
Bill, that includes my father over in Pennsylvania.
There you go. My son in Cincinnati. We're all over the place.
Here we are.
And a flag comes down as the snap back to Wallace, and Walsh had lots of problems that time. There were a lot of blue jerseys chasing him down. And we'll go down and check out what the call is here from the official.
Illegal formation, 5 men in the backfield. That penalty is declined.
The Bobcats get a break there too, and as the Chieftains with the penalty, the Cats will take the play, which ends up being a sack. Cats had all kinds of guys in the backfield that time, and
it looked like Thomas Arnold was the main one there.
Arnold got a piece of that one. 3rd and 15 as they go 4 wide here. Walsh with Minor set behind him. Now he'll shift up beside him with 1:20 and the clock wound into play. Cats could get this one back again, facing 3rd and long. Walsh takes the snap. He's going to follow Minor off the left side. He's not going to get there. Nice defensive play for the Bobcats. Yerian he was in the backfield just about as quickly as the ball. See if the Bobcats burn another timeout here, and I think they're going to, with 1 minute remaining on the first half clock.
I think anytime you can make Logan snap that ball for a punt,
anything
you do
can
it.
happen here. With a minute to go, 28-7. Bobcats have the lead and the ball, or are going to get the ball back. We'll keep it here off of this timeout with a minute to go. And John, a dominating first half for the Bobcats, even with their mistakes. And there have been a couple of them that kind of make you shake your head, but Cambridge has been resilient even with that.
Absolutely. 2 fumbles, you don't like to see that, but Logan only able to capitalize on one of those, and the Bobcat defense, whatever Logan was doing on that 5-play drive, they had a couple of runs off the right side. Cambridge has shut that down since then.
Yeah, they had a little counter play working to the deep back out of the pistol set there. Now they face 4th down and about 17, and Meyer's going to go back in punt formation again. Bobcats send Trent Valentine back to about his 30. Valentine, pretty good hands there, and can be dangerous if he gets a chance to field one on the run.
He's got the ability to make the first guy miss, and if you do that, pick a couple blocks, you can pick up some big yardage on a punt return.
Bobcats, guys up on the line, they may be coming after this one. Good snap this time. Meyer will get into it. And again, a fair catch call for by Valentine, who's going to haul it in about the 34-yard line. So 2 timeouts are remaining for the Bobcats. Check that, 1 timeout and 58 seconds. An opportunity for Cambridge maybe to work a little bit on its 2-minute drill here. I haven't seen them do that a lot. But
well, they have the little armbands, and they call numbers out, and so you see all the receivers and even the linemen have those play bands on their arms, those like wristbands, and they'll call a number and go right to the line of scrimmage and go as fast as they can here.
Hamilton, Trent Valentine, and Alex Valentine in there, as well as Tuttle. And Snodgrass will line up in the shotgun set with William Lowe offset to his left side. 1st and 10, he'll roll to his left, look downfield, pull up, fire to the intermediate man, and right into the hand of Landon Little for the Chieftains. And now a flag comes in on the play on the sidelines, and that one may go against the Bobcats there for a late hit.
Snodgrass frustrated and takes a shot out there. Shouldn't have done that.
He threw it late, and he tried to throw it back to the guy curling on the inside, and there was a guy defensively he didn't see. And the Cats make a mistake here. They've turned it over now 3 times in the first half and somehow still lead it. And the flag, let's see what it was.
Dead ball, personal foul, number 10 on the defense, 15-yard penalty.
Now that's going to be tacked on to the end of that play. And as you said, Snodgrass with a little frustration there. But with 50 seconds to go, and it sets up Logan on the Cambridge 20-yard line. It gives them an opportunity here to try to put points on the board, down 28-7.
Looking for the defense to make another stop here. It'd be kind of frustrating to give up a touchdown right now.
Brady Walsh takes the snap. He'll roll to his left, fires it out into that left flat, and a nice defensive play out there for the Bobcat. I think Tuttle maybe out there for the Cats. No, that was actually Leaper out there diving for that ball along with the receiver. And it's going to fall incomplete, stops the clock with 45 seconds left.
I think one thing Alec Leaper has learned this year, that marking a guy in soccer is a lot different than covering him in football. He's got the speed to stay with anybody. He's just got to learn how to play that defensive position on a receiver.
That is the first time in any broadcast I've ever had a color man work in a soccer term
reference. How about that, huh?
Marking a guy. There you go. 2nd down and long. Walsh takes the snap, fakes it inside. Under pressure. Gets away from one man, but he's not going to get away from the second one. Trent Valentine came in, made him step up in the pocket, and Kobe Berger's going to finish him off there. And the clock continuing to wind. Now they're going to call a timeout with 38 on the clock. Logan will burn a timeout off that big loss. That's about a loss of 12 all the way back out to the 31-yard line. And a timeout on the field, 28-7. Cambridge with the lead, and we'll take a timeout as well. Back right after this.
Second timeout of the half. The Cambridge High School boys basketball team would like to remind everyone of attendance tonight. The only meeting is coming up on Saturday, September 24th. At Brandon's in the restaurant between 5 p.m.
38 seconds left in this first half. Logan trying to take advantage of another Bobcat miscue, but Kobe Berger, what is fourth sack of the season, you'd say?
I think fourth sack of the season. I think he's had 2 tonight, 2 sacks previously. He's had 7 tackles for losses now, at least, maybe 8. He might have had another tackle in the backfield tonight. He does a good job of getting penetration and making tackles in the backfield.
3rd and 21 for Logan. They have a wide out wide to the right in Nelson, Jensen Wallace to the left, and a pistol set in the backfield with a couple of backs there. They've been pretty unpredictable in some of these situations. Still have a timeout to burn. Walsh takes the snap, drops back, flushed out of the pocket. He rolls up the right side, fires it across the middle, and that is complete down inside the 20. It looked like Tommy Briney on the catch, and Logan's going to burn their final timeout, facing 4th down as Scotty Minnis on the stop for the Bobcats on defense. 26 seconds left on the clock. They'll get it down to about the 14-yard line. So the Bobcat defense will face a 4th down situation in their own red zone and trying to hold that lead where it's at 28-7. And really, if you look back at this first half and think of the mistakes the Bobcats have made, this score could easily be right now 28-0, but Cambridge has given Logan a couple of opportunities that they've taken advantage of one. Will they take advantage of this one?
Right. You know, they got the short field for their first score, and then they got a short field here if they can get it in here before the time runs out.
Scoreboard update there. John Glenn leading Sheridan 14-7.
Go Muskies.
There you go. There's points for the
secondary
Bobcats.
Points for the Bobcats.
Take
I like
all
that.
the ones you can get here early.
I tell you what, John Glenn played a heck of a game against Cambridge. They're going to be a nice team this year. Pick up a few wins.
Had a chance to win it late. 4th down and 4 for the Chieftains from the Cambridge 14-yard line. Bobcat defense trying to come up big here as the Chieftains spread the field. 2 receivers wide to the right. Wallace spreads man-to-man wide to the left.
Look for them to go off tackle right.
Minor and the pistol set behind Walsh. Bobcats showing blitz from the outside. A little movement up front, and that's going to be enough to get the Bobcats to jump into the neutral zone, and that should be enough to give them that first down.
Dead ball. Offsides on the defense. First down.
First penalty for the Bobcats.
Yeah, and it cost them in that situation. Yeah, cost them there and gives them 4 more downs, although the Chieftains out of first downs there, out of timeouts, have 26 seconds on the clock. They'll go right back to the line. Whatever play they had, they're going to line up and get after it. And they pick up the first down there via the penalty. Moves it down to about the 9-yard line. Walsh takes the snap, looks out into the flat, fires one out there, and the defender for the Bobcats fell down as Jensen Wallace ran a little in and then twisted himself to the outside. The defender Leaper lost his footing, and that's going to be an easy 6 for the Chieftains there. Wallace with his second touchdown pass, that one from 9 yards out. So the Cats miscue hurts them here.
You know, that's the thing. The Bobcats have played 3 close games, and they're able to get a little bit of a lead here in the first half. They got to learn how to put these games away, and hopefully they can come out in the second half and take control like they have been most of the game.
Klein on for the extra point attempt. Good snap, the hold down, and that kick, he got it all. That drilled through with 19 seconds on the clock, and the lead now for the Bobcats cut in half, 28-14. 19 more seconds remaining in the first half. We'll have those right after this message. Back at McFarland Stadium, 19 seconds left on the clock as the Chieftains take advantage of a Bobcat turnover and then a Bobcat penalty, actually 2 of them that set them up with first and a goal to go on the 9, and a pass to Jensen Wallace, and his second touchdown of the night cuts the gap to 28-14. Now, see what the Cats can do here with 19 seconds to go. WB Green kickoff. This one again, this is going to be squibbed to the left side. Coming up and making the play, William Lowe. He'll catch it, bring it back out to the 20, looking for a seam out to the 25. And Lowe will take it to maybe the 26 on that return. And so the Bobcats, I don't think they're going to do anything fancy here. Leading 28-14, although the Bobcats started the game with the ball.
Wouldn't be surprised to see him at least make a handoff, though. Maybe let Will Lowe's coming off the field, but Rusty in there, maybe he can break a big one, or maybe you run a jet sweep with Tuttle or somebody like that.
Cats have one timeout remaining as Berger checks into the backfield along with Hayhurst. So the Cats will be in an I formation, working from their own 26-yard line, and 13 seconds to go. Probably the last play of the first half right here, and it will be, as Snodgrass will take a snap, take a knee, and that will indeed end the first half of play. A good one for the Bobcats, though, who see themselves with a 14-point lead as we head to the halftime break. 28-14. Bobcats on top. On the radio side, we invite you to stay tuned. O&N halftime show coming up. We'll be back, John and I, with the stats and scoring of this first half. An exciting one for the Bobcats, who take the lead to halftime. We'll be back in a little while.
Cambridge High School Bobcat Football. Tonight's game is brought to you by Southeastern Med, White Sides of Cambridge, Theo's Restaurant, Cambridge Classic 4, and Area Agency on Aging Region 9.
Everyone goes to Theo's Restaurant. Everyone goes to Theo's, my favorite restaurant. For homemade cooking, lots of fun. Theo's the place for everyone. Everyone goes to Theo's Restaurant.
Get 0% for 60 months on select models now during the savings celebration at White Sides of Cambridge. Hot deals on new 2016s like a Buick Encore, 20% off, just $23.07. A professional grade GMC Sierra 1500 decab 4x4, 20% off, priced at $33,023. A new Buick Verano for $21,775. A LaCrosse for $32,360. Or check out the all-new XT5 at your Cadillac headquarters, White Sides of Cambridge. WhiteSidesOfCambridge.com. Just north of I-70 on Route 209.
Advanced, patient-centered orthopedic care. The precise treatment you need. Because balancing your life is so much easier with orthopedic care right here at home. Southeastern Med, your community hospital.
The halftime show is brought to you by Mr. Lee's Restaurant, 2000 East Wheeling Avenue in Cambridge. Open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, serving delicious home-cooked meals.
Ladies and gentlemen, for your halftime entertainment, we proudly present the Cambridge High School Bobcat Marching Band. The band will perform their 2016 program that explores music from shows that began in London's West End and then became successful Broadway productions. By 1986, British composer Henry Lloyd Webber had 4 successful musicals to his credit. After reading a French novel by Gaston Leroux, he decided to write a musical based on that story. In 2012, Phantom of the Opera cast Cats, another Henry Lloyd Webber musical, and became the longest-running musical in the history of Broadway. Our version includes music of the night and the title track, Phantom of the Opera. Movement 2 goes to the pop side of Broadway with Mamma Mia. It is the brainchild of British playwright Catherine Johnson. It's based on hit songs of the Swedish rock group ABBA. It opened on Broadway October 2001 and ran until September 2015. It had the 8th longest run in Broadway history. We begin this production with the title track Mamma Mia and transition into Dancing Queen, which is the only ABBA song to make #1 in the U.S. Movement 3 is Mary Poppins, which had a run of 2,619 performances on Broadway. We started this production with the beautiful ballad Be the Our percussion section then transitions us to the energetic and fun-loving supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. We feature senior trumpet soloist Ian Dukins, senior baritone horn soloist Ella High, sophomore alto soloist Lisa Leonard, and sophomore tuba soloist Riley Martin as the Cambridge High School Bobcat Marching Band closes tonight's performance of Bricks on Broadway.
Cambridge Classic Ford in downtown Cambridge prides themselves on offering the largest inventory and the best customer service in the area. Visit their lot and experience the classic difference. The classic difference provides customers a service above and beyond what you'll find anywhere else. Their service department, body shop, and parts department strive for the best service and pricing in southeastern Ohio. Stop by the lot and browse their large selection of new and pre-owned inventory, ask about easy financing, or schedule an oil change. That's Cambridge Classic Ford in downtown Cambridge. Stop by and experience the classic difference for yourself.
Do you or someone you know need assistance paying for prescription medications? The Area Agency on Aging Region 9 is working to identify Medicare beneficiaries who may qualify for the Extra Help program. This program can assist to help pay prescription drug costs, monthly premiums, annual deductibles, co-pays, and provide gap coverage which is associated with the Medicare prescription drug plan. Please contact our office at 740-435-4904 to see if you qualify.
Advanced, patient-centered orthopedic care. The precise treatment you need. Because balancing your life is so much easier with orthopedic care right here at home. Southeastern Med, your community hospital.
First half scoring looks like this. The Bobcats took the opening kickoff tonight, and they drove it 67 yards in 13 plays. Nathan Snodgrass, the last yard out. Alex Leeper's extra point was good. The Cats led at 7-0, but Logan would take advantage of a Bobcat miscue. Cambridge fumbled on its second opportunity of the night, and Logan would take it 48 yards in 5 plays, tying it up as Jensen Wallace took a pass from his quarterback Brady Walsh, and the extra point made it 7-7. The Cats, though, would strike right back. Alex Leeper on the fake punt, 39-yard scamper for the Bobcats. That completed a 54-yard drive for the Bobcats. Leeper's extra point was true as well. William Lowe would add a 4-yard run at the 3:56 mark of the first half, taking advantage of a Logan bad snap on a punt attempt. 21-7 at that point, and the Cats would add yet another score as Snodgrass would find Logan Tuttle in the end zone from 13 yards out, and that would cap off a 44-yard drive in just 3 plays, 28-7 after the extra point. But the Cats weren't out of mistakes, John, as Cambridge would turn it over again, maybe getting a little bit greedy at the end of the first half, trying to pass it down the field. Snodgrass got picked off after a penalty. Logan set up at the Cambridge 20-yard line. 4th down and 4. The Bobcats jump offside to give Logan an extra set of downs. And then Jensen Wallace, his second touchdown of the night, this one from 9 yards out on a pass from Walsh. The extra point made it 28-14. That's where we stand here at halftime.
I mean, Logan's doing a nice job. They realize they're not going to be able to run on the Bobcats, so they've gone to the passing game and been able to complete a couple touchdown passes and basically take advantage of 2 short fields on 2 Bobcat turnovers.
And you know, you and I both have watched the Bobcats a number of times this year, and the chink in the armor defensively for the Bobcats is they don't defend the pass as well as they defend the run, and consequently, if teams got to choose, that's where they're going to go, and they've taken advantage of that.
But I don't have a problem with that. I think you'd rather shut down the run and let other teams, try to pass on you. 2 things. I mean, what's Woody Hayes always said: 3 things happen when you pass, and 2 more bad. So I think that works to the Bobcats' favor. I'd rather take away the running game and make them pass, as opposed to take away the passing game and let them run.
Bobcat defense, though, tonight has done a pretty nice job when not backed up into its own territory, and it's really the Cambridge offense who also is clicking, if you will, and they just have to eliminate mistakes. Cats have fumbled it twice and thrown an interception, and if you eliminate those 3 mistakes, Logan hasn't shown the ability to drive the length of the field on its own.
That's right. They haven't done that, and Bobcats done really well. Go ahead and give you the stats if you're ready for those, Bill.
Yes, let's do that.
So rushing for the Bobcats, they have 21 carries for 133 yards, and that includes Nathan Snodgrass taking a couple sacks for minus 19 yards total for him. But William Lowe, 13 carries for 97 yards. Rusty Hayers, 2 carries for 8 yards. And, of course, Alex Leeper, the 1 carry for 39 yards on the fake punt for the touchdown. Snodgrass, 6 of 8 tonight with the one interception, of course, 79 yards, and, of course, a touchdown pass as well for Nathan Snodgrass. Receivers spreading around a little bit. Trent Valentine, 2 catches for 29 yards. Logan Tuttle, 3 catches for 40 yards. And Lee Colvin had that one screen catch for 10 yards. And, again, that totals 79 and 6 completions. Running the ball for the Logan Chieftains, Jeremy Miners. They've been their key back all season long and tonight as well. 7 carries for 49 yards. Brady Walsh suffered a few sacks. He's got 9 carries for minus 32 yards. T.J. Meyer, the punter, who's picked up a 20-yard first down, then had a 30-yard loss with a snap goes over his head at minus 10 yards for the night. Riley Nelson, 2 carries for 2 yards. So basically, you add it all up, and you got 20 rushing attempts for 20 rushing attempts for just 9 yards for Logan.
Yeah, so I was going to say that as many negative plays as Logan took in the first half, that they can't have many yards total.
Right, and they got to be happy with 14 points, really, with all that negative. Now, they were able to complete some passes. Brady Walsh, 6 of 12 for 65 yards, and that includes the 2 TDs. Jensen Walls, as you mentioned, had the 2 touchdown catches, 3 catches for 37 yards. Nelson, 1 catch for 5 yards, and the big tight end, Tommy Branning, with 2 catches for 23 yards. That's 6 receptions for 65 yards. And so basically they come up with about 74 yards of total offense in the first half for Logan. Cambridge pushing 200 and about 210 yards of total offense.
You're listening to our halftime report brought to you by Teresa's Florists and Gifts. Stay tuned. We're going to have the second half of action coming up right after these messages. Welcome back to McFarland Stadium. We're at halftime. As halftime winds down now, both teams have made their way back out onto the field and warm up a little bit. That shouldn't take them long. And as we wind things up here for our halftime show, brought to you by Teresa's Florists and Gifts, 28-14. Bobcats have led it all the way and for the most part, that's been a somewhat comfortable lead. Although the first few games the Cats have played, everything has been tenuous. This thing is far from over. So as these teams make their adjustments, they come out here at halftime. The Bobcats are going to start the second half on defense, which hasn't been bad as long as you don't let the offense back you up into a bad spot. But what do you expect Logan to come out and make the adjustment to do?
Well, I think Logan's, they've learned in the first half they have to get the ball in the air a little bit. So look for them to throw a few more swing passes, maybe try to get a deep one down the sideline, take advantage of their height advantage with their 6'4" tight end. And so they can't move the ball that way. And maybe that'll loosen up the Cambridge defense a little bit, and they might be able to run the ball a bit more later as well. For the Bobcats, I think they need to come out and get a 4 and out to open the half, and then put together one of those nice 8-minute drives like they did in the first quarter. That would be ideal for the Bobcats.
Yeah, when Logan's quarterback, Brady Walsh, has had time to throw, he's been fairly accurate. The problem is having that time. He's been sacked a number of times tonight. He's lost quite a bit of yardage on some of those plays. So the Cats have been bringing a lot of guys from the outside, inside. They've put a lot of pressure on.
They line up in that 4-man front, sometimes even a 3-man front. At Canton South last week with a 3-man front, but they bring at least one linebacker every time. And with those hybrid safety defensive ends they have, Rusty Hayhurst, and they can bring them as well, and they can put some pressure on.
Yeah, it makes them susceptible maybe to a screen pass or something. But again, the time hasn't been there for Walsh to set anything up. He's been running for his life. And the special teams haven't been very special for Logan tonight either. The Cats have been able to take advantage of the miscues that Logan has had a number of times.
And we've talked before, I know, about Alex Leeper, what an advantage he is to have someone kick the ball into the end zone, put the other team at the 20-yard line. He's also capable of making a 35, 40-yard field goal, pretty consistent in the extra points. And I don't know what his punting average is for the season off the top of my head, and if that was in the stats, but I'm guessing it's probably around 35 to 40 yards. And if he does have a shorter one, then it's probably because he gets pretty good hang time.
Yeah, his average is only like 30. He's have a long of 46, but his hang time is incredibly long. There have not been very many returns of any consequence against him this year. And, you know, we've mentioned this in some earlier broadcasts this year, is you don't know how good you have it till you don't have it anymore.
Right.
The Cats over the last several years have enjoyed excellent kicking with a number of Fox brothers coming through and now Alex Leeper. They've had that pipeline with Coach Fox working with the special teams and the kickers, having a lot of guys there that have kicked the ball very well, and having those kinds of weapons really gives you an advantage.
It makes a huge difference. And I know if you're a local sports fan or a football fan, you remember a few years ago over at John Glenn, they had a kid named Aaron Bates, goes to Michigan State and punts for them, but kicked every kickoff in the end zone, punted an average about 45 yards. What a huge advantage it gave John Glenn to have a kid that can turn the field like he did.
So the Cats are going to start the second half with a 14-point lead. They'll be on the defensive end of the field as we start this second half of action. And Leeper in the first half, I think I got 1, 2, 3 times booted the ball into the end zone.
Yep, that's right. And then the other 2 times was inside the 5, I believe. So.
Yeah, so that you would like to think would afford your team with some pretty good field position there defensively and make that other team go the distance. And that's something that Logan hasn't shown at least in the first half, the ability to do is work the long field. Now, the Cats have given Logan a short field a couple of times, and they've taken advantage of that as we get set to get underway here. Stay tuned for our post-game wrap-up tonight, brought to you by ABC Technical Service. We'll have our Creno's Player of the Game at that point as well. Creno's of Cambridge Player of the Game. We want to thank you again for tuning in tonight, whether you're listening to us on your radio here in the stands. Put up your hand and wave. Thank you. And for those of you that may be listening in your car or online, or maybe streaming live at yourradioplace.com. I've received a couple of messages here. I know my son's watching in Cincinnati. Hey, Ryan. And he's giving me his critique of the game and what we should and shouldn't do.
As a former player, he's got some opinions, so yeah.
Alumni are entitled to that, right? We're just about set to get underway here as Leeper has the ball teed up. Back deep for Riley Nelson. And Jensen Wallace awaiting the kick. Standing at the goal line. And most of the time they've watched it go right over their head. As Leeper approaches, this one is going to be a little bit lower, bounce at the 10, and then past Wallace and into the end zone. He got lucky on that last bounce that it took one more bounce and into the end zone, and that would have been a jailbreak going after him right there.
Absolutely. You know, you touch that ball or it stops on the 1 yard line, he's in trouble that time. So the Bobcats now have to come out and, like I said, ideally get that stop on defense, 3 and out here, and get the ball back.
So the offense for the Chieftains come out here. Brady Walsh at the quarterback spot. Jeremy Miner has been set behind him in the pistol most of the night. Jeremy Weaver checks in there a couple of times at the offset back. He's in there at this point. And 2 wideouts. 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line, middle of the field. Nelson comes across the field in motion. The handoff to Miner straight ahead, and he's going to run right into a wall of blue jerseys. Wallace for the Bobcats, one of those. And you can name any number of other Bobcats that got a piece of that one as well. They'll give him a yard, and that's being pretty gracious there. Harrison Ogle on the stop as well. And there hadn't been much between the tackles all night.
No, the Bobcats doing a great job, and it's nice to see those defensive ends, Cody Wallace and right now Dalton Taylor in there getting off those blocks and sliding down and stopping the holes inside with the linebackers and defensive tackles.
My mom says she's watching too.
Well,
Hey, Mom.
You better give her a shout out then.
Thanks, Mom. I know she knew how to use that radio. It's one of them great big old ones that sits in the living room. 2nd and long, handoff ahead to Miner. He pops it through the first level and into the secondary. And that stop by Alex Leeper might have saved the Bobcats a touchdown, as that's one of the best plays from scrimmage that we've seen Logan have most of the night. They figured something out there. And that kind of goes back to the one play they had working in the first half where they handed off to Miner on one side and he kind of breaks it back.
Yeah, kind of counter motion across the middle of the defense there.
No, that's a 1st down all the way out over the 30-yard line. First drive of the second half. Cats lead at 28-14. Walsh looking to his right, fires it out there and over the head of his intended receiver. He had a little pressure in there that time, had to get rid of it quickly. For the Bobcats.
They've targeted Nelson about, I think, 3 or 4 times. He has 1 catch and a couple that have skipped off his hands.
Riley Nelson that time, that was a little bit higher than he was capable of getting. Good coverage by the Bobcats now, 2nd and long.
It's not his fault he's not tall enough, right?
Yeah. Blame it on his genealogy. Pistol set again. Nelson to the right, Wallace wide to the left. He's got a couple touchdown catches tonight. Movement up front, and the Bobcats jump into the neutral zone again, and that's going to cost them 5. Harrison Ogle, the guilty party in there.
Defense, 5-yard penalty.
So the Cats, they've done that a few times tonight.
2.
Although this isn't a 1st down, it's going to make it 2nd and 5.
2 for 5, or two penalties for 10 yards tonight, both of them defensive offsides.
So 2nd and 5. Chieftains are just going to line up and they'll go again. Bobcats showing blitz. They'll bring it from the outside and a little mix up in the backfield. As the running back Miner ran right into his blocking back that time, Landon Little, and still was able to gain a yard or so on the play. And it'll be 3rd down. Big play coming up here for the Bobcats. Taylor on the stop defensively. 3rd and a long 3.
Miner's got 10 carries for 62 yards, so pretty good average. Of course, he broke a couple of those, couple 15, 20-yarders early on.
28-14, Bobcats with the score. And the lead right there is it's 3rd and 3. Cats showing blitz, back to pass. Walsh steps up into the pocket, and that's not going to be enough as he's going to be slung down back there. Hayhurst from the outside getting first contact on him. Dalton Taylor comes in, cleans him up, and the Bobcat defense comes up with another big play again. 4th down, they'll call it 15 after that sack. How many sacks? We're not keeping that stat tonight, but that's a bunch for the Bobcats.
Let's just say Walsh has minus 43 yards tonight.
How all these people got my phone number. I get all these text messages. People saying, I'm watching too.
Everyone wants a shout out, Bill.
Hey,
You're a popular guy.
Sharon Kassler, hello. 28-14, there's your score. So Meyer back to pass or punt again. And this been an adventure a lot of times. Low snap, he dropped it once, picks it up, boots it away. And Trent Valentine, high kick, he'll have to call for the fair catch and haul it in at the Cambridge 42-yard line. So the Bobcat defense equal to the task that time. It was 9:21 left here in the third period. Cambridge leading 28-14. They'll have the ball back.
Minor is actually, for a lineman, has got pretty good hands back there. He's making a nice shortstop the way he's filling some of those snaps.
Yeah, Meyer, yeah, he's a big fella, but I guess he's been practicing those bad catches for a while. But, you'd like to think by week 4 that you would find somebody that could snap it a little bit better, maybe moving a little bit closer.
Yeah.
For the Cats, 3 wides to the left, 1 to the right. Connor Lepla wide out way to the left. Snodgrass in the backfield on 1st and 10. Takes the handoff straight ahead, hands it off to Hayhurst. And he'll lower his shoulders and pound it off that left side for a nice pickup of about 6 or so. That going to make it 2nd and 4. Colton Ruff on defense at the 9-minute mark.
Hayhurst didn't see a lot of playing time after his fumble in the first half.
He was in the doghouse.
He was in the doghouse, but that time 2 hands on the ball, if you notice him going up the middle.
Bobcats double wides each side this time, facing 2nd and 4. Hand off again inside to Hayhurst. Again, he'll cover both ends of that ball and get it up close to the line to gain. And see if they're giving him the good spot here. It's going to be a left foot spot, not a right foot spot. That means 3rd and short.
3rd and short for Cambridge.
Sam Hall on the stop defensively. And the Bobcats again will continue to spread the field. That makes the defense play honestly as they bring some guys out of the box, and now they'll pack the box. Hand off straight ahead. Hayhurst will get the first down. Had the Bobcats had the ability that time, John, to check off that play and throw it, they only had 1 DB covering 2 receivers to each side.
I love the Pittsburgh Steelers against the Redskins Monday night.
Yeah. Knowing almost what was going to come that time, and they were right. Cats pick up the first down. Tom Wright and Sam Hall combine to make the stop, but the Bobcats will move the chains here. 1st and 10, barely there at the Logan 48. Clock continues to wind away. 8 minutes left here in the third period. Bobcats, if we kept time of possession, I think it would be heavily in their favor as well as the score. 28-14, Cats the lead in the ball, and they drive again. Fake inside, pass to the left side. Trent Valentine has it, 45-40, breaks the tackle, could take it all the way. 20, 15, 10, give him 6. No flags on that play. And from 47 yards out, the Bobcats extend their lead again. Just a little swing pass out to the left side, and Trent Valentine able to make a defender miss. Nobody had the angle on him, and he takes that one all the way to the house.
Did a nice job getting open, breaking the 1 tackle, and I don't know who the other wideout was that Lepla, but they did a nice job on the stock block. Yeah.
So Leaper will come on in for the extra point attempt, and the Bobcats extend their lead now, 34-14. 7:47 left here in the third, and we're seeing some quick strike ability by the Bobcats a couple of times tonight. Good snap, the hold is down, Leaper boots another one, and it again is true. 35-14, your Ford Tire and Service scoreboard update. We'll be back, more football on ESPN Cambridge right after this. Back at McFarland Stadium, Bill Kafuri, John Charlton, Paul Eric in the house. Picking and grinning, pointing and grinning. Cats leading 35-14.
We were talking about time of possession. The Logan Daily News sports editor here and tipped me off that the first half was about even, about 12:01 to 11:59, something like that in the first half time of possession-wise.
Yeah, the Cats they've been scoring on some
long drives.
1-play drive, 3-play drive. That one a 4-play drive. The opening drive was 13 minutes. Now that was maybe kind of the misnomer there that we kind of thought they had it for a long time.
Right.
Leaper, another big kick on our WB Green kick, drives Jensen Wallace into the corner at the 1-yard line. Takes it in there out to the 10, slips a tackle at the 15, and then drives out ahead to about the 20-yard line. So. Yeah, the result of the kick pretty much the same. I think Scotty Minnis on the stop for the Bobcats that time, along with Colton Jones. And it won't be much better field position for Logan to start this drive, down 35-14.
It looks like they're at the 20 and a half instead of the 20, I guess. Maybe right on the 21.
Yeah, that one more yard.
And really, the Bobcats, if they could have brought him down, they had him wrapped up about the 15-yard line, unable to bring him down.
Open field tackling, that's tough. Logan comes out, 1st and 10, 3 wides to the short side on the right. And a tight end to that side as well. They hand it off. Minert going back to the left. That's the weak side. He drags a pile of defenders out near the 25, across the 25. Not very good tackling that time by the Bobcats. They got it done with numbers rather than technique. Ogle at the bottom of that pile. A gain of about 6 on the play for Minert.
He just bowled his way forward that time.
Charlton held his ground as well, and has a couple of guys reaching for him that time. And if there's been a play for the Chiefs, the Chieftains that worked tonight, it's been that little bit of a counter. 2nd and 4, 7-minute mark here of the 3rd period. Pistol set with 2 wide, split to the left. Walsh, long snap, bad snap that rolled back to him on the ground, picks it up, and he's going to be smothered inside the 25. Fortunate that didn't turn out to be a turnover. Bunch of Bobcats on him in a heartbeat that time. Charlton and Ogle and getting in there quickly to cover him up. That'll be a loss on the play, back to the 25-yard line. Make it 3rd and 6 now.
3rd down and 6.
Clock continues to wind down. Twin receivers to the left. Walsh calling for the ball. Bobcats showing blitz. He takes it, hands it off, or faked the handoff, actually, to his fullback, Preston Yates, and then kept it himself. And that didn't work out so well either. Pickup of a yard or 2. Alex Valentine came up on the stop. Valentine, one of the leading tacklers for the Bobcats on defense in the secondary, which isn't necessarily a good thing, but
he makes a lot of nice solo tackles and a lot of run support on the corner, so
yes,
does a good job.
4th and 5, and Meyer back again in punt formation. He's got a lot of duty tonight. 6th opportunity to punt the ball. Actually 7th. One of those didn't turn out so well as he had a bad snap and got tackled. Trent Valentine in his own 42. High snap. And nearly blocked by William Lowe coming off the corner. That one gets away, and Valentine will run up and make the catch at about the 49-yard line. And talk about how much difference does it make when you have a guy receiving the punt that seldom is going to let it hit the ground and lose yardage for you.
But, you're saving 5, 10, 15 on a turf field, maybe 15 to 20 yards of bounce by catching that ball, and it makes a huge difference in the field position. And even if you're not moving the ball offensively, you can kind of flip the field slowly, if you will, by taking that, keeping that from bouncing. And on the other side, we've been able to get a couple punts that they haven't filtered and they bounce.
Bobcats leading 35-14. They'll take over at their own 49-yard line. Excellent field position again. Cats coming off a score on their last possession is a short pass to Trent Valentine. He is able to take it all the way. They'll come out in a similar formation, 3 wides to the left, 1 to the right. Cats spread in the field. Snodgrass will take the handoff to Hayhurst left side, breaks a tackle, 45, heads to the corner, 40, drugged down inside the 35-yard line. Jensen Wallace got an arm around him and drags him to the ground, or Hayhurst could have been off to the races. Nice pickup there. The Bobcats will move the sticks into 4-down territory now. 5-minute mark of the 3rd period, 35-14, and the Cats on the move again. Alex Valentine wide to the right, 3 to the left. Hayhurst this time straight ahead again. He'll stumble forward inside the 30. Another positive gain, that time Dakota Dement on the stop. Pickup of about 4 for the defense, or if the offense. Bobcats on the move again. And giving William Lowe a little bit of a break. He was running like crazy in the first half. Bobcats picking up the pace. Again, 4 wides. And again, straight ahead is the Cats trying to run a little cutback that time as well. Tyler coming on the stop. And it'll be a pickup of about 2 or 3. That time it looked like there was going to be a little cutback that time to Hayhurst, but he
got tripped up a little, another shoestring tackle.
Well, and it's partly he's trying to protect the ball right now,
right,
which is his main concern, and rightly
that
so.
That should be, yes.
And it should be. Third and short, fake inside, pass out to Colvin. He hauls it in on the second attempt, then gets it up ahead. That'll be enough for a first down. Dakota DeMent again on the stop defensively, but Colvin that time kind of bobbled it on the initial catch and then got it up. And one of the things I've been impressed with is the Bobcat receiving corps throughout the season has continued to get better. Early in the season, saw a lot of drops from them. Some of them weren't as consistent in catching the ball, but right now it looks like you could spread it around to just about anybody you want.
Doing a nice job. And the other thing that I'm impressed with is their downfield blocking. They're doing a great job on the stock blocking, and especially in those little bubble screens and swing passes, you need those blocks to spring a guy.
First and 10 from the 18-yard line of the Chieftains. Snodgrass rolls to his right, fires the deep out to Alex Valentine, makes one man miss at the 10, down to the 5, reaching to the end zone. Did he get in? He did. Touchdown. Alex Valentine with 3:40 left here in the third period. The Bobcats extend their lead. Now both Valentine brothers on the scoreboard.
He's got to keep pace with his younger brother.
And that's not easy to do. Alex Valentine from 18 yards out, and he made a nice little run with it after he caught it.
That was actually his first catch of the night.
So the Cats will tack another one on the board, their 5th play of that drive, to go 51 yards. Leaper wearing his leg out tonight with the extra points in the kickoffs. Good snap, hold down, kick is up again, and also good again. 3:39 left to go here in the third period, 42-14 Bobcats. We'll be back after this. Back at McFarland Stadium, 42-14. Ford Tire and Service scoreboard update. I'm looking at my play sheet, John, and the Cats have scored in 4 of their last 5 possessions.
Doing a nice job moving the ball, mixing the run and the pass, and really everything working tonight. So doing a really nice job. And you take away 3 turnovers in the first half, actually 3 in the second quarter.
Mixing it up a little bit too.
Yeah, and that's what I really like about the offense. It seems like they're, the past couple years, somewhat predictable on offense, and this year actually you see some, fake dive and then throw the screen pass off of that or whatever. It's been some nice plays.
Approaches. WB Green kickoff bounces at the 5 and then into the end zone. Jensen Wallace muffed it, and he'll go back and cover it up there. It'll come out to the 20-yard line again, and quietly tonight, I'm looking at the scoring here. Quietly tonight, young man's having a pretty good game. We haven't mentioned much about it. Nathan Snodgrass has run for a touchdown and thrown for 3. And it just seems like they've spread it around so much that he's kind of got lost in the mix there, but he's been at the center of a lot of those.
Yeah, he's actually completed 9 of 11, 1 incompletion and that 1 interception for 151 yards.
Almost like he's completed 10 of 11, huh?
Almost.
3:36 to go. The Chieftains starting from their own 20 again. Hand off to Miner off the left side. Carries the pile out over the 25 again. Charlton on the stop defensively for the Bobcats, and Miner is going to pick up about 5 right there. Had a little success working off that left side on that little counter play, but that will continue the clock running down. 3:10 and counting here in the third period. 42-14 Bobcats. Bobcats scored on their opening drive tonight. Got tied up at 7-7, but haven't looked back since then. Pistol formation. Walsh with Miner behind him. Cats showing blitz. on the outside and the middle. Picks it up, fires it out to Nelson on the outside, and a good open field tackle that time. Tuttle came up, and Nelson drugging for a couple yards. That'll get the first down, but when you're out there on the island all by yourself, that's all you have to do is just make sure that you hold on to him long enough to get him to the ground.
You got to hold him up long enough till you get some the cavalry
Hopefully.
come. Get some help there.
Minnis will check in for Tuttle here, 1st and 10. The Chieftains pick up their first down here of the second half. 2 wide to the right, 1 split wide to the left. That'd be Wallace. Walsh checks out the defense. Bobcat showing blitz here again. He'll take it, drop back, step up under pressure, and gets away from a couple of Bobcats, but not the third Bobcat that time. Jordan Urian. He was the third cat to get a piece of him. It looked like Connor Lepla came in from the outside. He had a shot at him. Another Bobcat who seldom misses was Kobe Berger. He got a lick in there as well, but it took Urian to get the final sack. And again, that's probably the 5th or 6th sack that the Cats have as a team tonight. Takes it all the way back to the 25-yard line.
Walsh with minus 53 yards on the ground. He's been sacked so many times.
Second down, very long. Bobcat showing the blitz again from the outside. As Lepla here at the bottom comes, the handoff to Miner, and he's rocked and then loses the ball. And Leeper tried to pick it up, and I think Charlton did on the second attempt. Miner got rocked. I didn't see who actually made the initial hit. I think it was Kobe Berger, who has a tendency to separate people from the ball.
Kobe craves contact. He likes
does.
to hit people, man.
I think he home at night. He goes home at night and just practices running into the wall. He laid a lick on that time. Charlton comes up with the fumble recovery, his second of the week. Couldn't get it in that time, though. I'm kind of disappointed.
Yeah, really. He didn't
take a very similar part of the field.
Reaper could have taken that one in,
recovered
maybe, but.
So the Cats with 1:21 left, big lead, take over at the Chieftain 11-yard line. Now, William Lowe will check in. Bobcats go in the I set and actually did not have a fullback in the game as Berger checked out. I don't think he knew that he was supposed to be in there in that set. And the Cats will burn a timeout. Even leading 42-14, Coach Gunn shows his displeasure with that mental mistake. We'll take the break. Back with more football on ESPN right after this. Back at McFarland Stadium, Bobcats forced to burn a timeout. They didn't have the right personnel in there on the change of possession. And that timeout, I don't think is going to come back to hurt them tonight. But, you know, coaches are perfectionists. They want everything to work right all the time.
Bobcats heading into you said the meat of their schedule. I might call it the meat grinder part of their schedule coming up next 5 weeks. Coshocton. Always a tough team. Marietta's undefeated so far. And
Berger back in. He's in the fullback. He'll lead Hayhurst off the right side. Hayhurst lowers his shoulder, picks up a couple tough yards inside the 10 down to about the 9. Jeremy Weaver for the Chieftains on the stop. Coming up on the final minute here of this third period. And as you said a moment ago, John, the Bobcats tack on another score. The beginning of this fourth quarter would start probably with a running clock anyway.
Right, and you get 30-point lead. They don't stop the clock. They run it full time.
Tuttle wide to the left, Lepla to the right. Snodgrass under center off the left side now. Hayhurst pops it to the outside, cuts back 5-4, dive to the end zone, and he'll be in. Rusty Hayhurst picks up the score. The Bobcats spreading the wealth around. Here at another TD. From 8 yards out, Hayhurst will tack one on and extend the Bobcats' lead.
Good hard run by Rusty, and making up for a mistake early in the game by coming back, doing a good job of protecting that ball, and then picking up some positive yardage, getting a touchdown.
Fortunately, the Bobcats are in a position that they can give him an opportunity to get back into coach's good graces. Evan Hannon on for the extra point attempt. Another soccer player. Good snap, pulled down, and Hannon missed on that one. That one, I don't know if it slipped off the tee or he just didn't get it in the sweet spot. But he may have another chance for the night's over. Number 99, Evan Hannon. 48-14, Bobcats. We'll be back right after this.
The winner of the Cambridge Pride Pack for tonight's game, Donna Gottschall. Please report to the concession stand to claim your prize. Continuous clock on the ready.
.38 seconds still remain in this third period. Ford Tire and Service scoreboard update. We're going to need new tires on this baby before it's all over with. 48-14, your scoreboard update. Bobcats there missing on the extra point. Although Alex Leeper back on for our WB Green kickoff. Evan Hannon, think a little nervous maybe on that extra point. His first opportunity to kick one up there as Leeper gets a lot of that one, but not into the end zone. That's going to be taken at the 5-yard line. Jensen Nelson straight up the middle, and Nelson with nobody touching him went to make a break at the 25, 35-yard line and fell down. He had Alex Leeper to beat. And he might have been off to the races there. So best field position in a long time for the Chieftains here, who have it out at their own 36-yard line. 8 seconds left here in the third period.
Well, that's one of the problems when you have a kicker that can kick it in the end zone every time. You don't always hustle down thinking you're going to get your chance to rest, and then when they run it back, then it's oops.
First and 10. Logan comes out of the huddle. Alana a little wide to the right. Jensen Wallace to the left.
Some clean jerseys in there for the Bobcats.
Yeah. See a few young kids in there for the Bobcats already emptying the bench here. 8 seconds left in the third period. Snap back and the pass. Boy, there were flags on the field, and the ball went between a receiver and a couple of defenders, and nobody caught it. That was thrown up for grabs. And the penalty on the field. Hold on there, folks. That's let's check it out here.
Looks like they're gonna, I would guess, an interference call.
Pass interference on the defense, 15-yard penalty. One on time down here to complete the quarter.
That quarter cannot end on a defensive penalty, so that one will be tacked off against the Bobcats. It'll be a first down with the penalty. And give the Chieftains an untimed down here at the end of the third period, right from the 50-yard line.
Third penalty, 25 yards for the Bobcats tonight.
And as you said, there are a lot of young guys in there for the Bobcats. We'll get names to you as we can. As it looks like just a couple of starters remain. I see Kobe Berger in the middle of it out there. Somebody's got to keep everybody in the right place, right?
Absolutely.
Walsh takes the snap, drops back, fires one deep down the right sideline, has a man there. Jensen Wallace hauls it in at the 20, and then shoved out of bounds by Scotty Minnis. That will be the final play of the third period. We'll head out with the Bobcats on top, 48-14. Fourth period coming up right after this.
Advanced, patient-centered orthopedic care. The precise treatment you need. Because balancing your life is so much easier with orthopedic care right here at home. Southeastern Med, your community hospital.
Get 0% for 60 months on select models now during the savings celebration at Whitesides of Cambridge. Hot deals on new 2016s like a Buick Encore, 20% off, just $23.07. A professional grade GMC Sierra 1500 decab 4x4, 20% off, priced at $33,023. A new Buick Verano for $21,775. A LaCrosse for $32,360. Or check out the all-new XT5 at your Cadillac headquarters, Whitesides of Cambridge. Whitesidesofcambridge.com. Just north of I-70 on Route 209.
With their starters remaining in the game, they'd like to tack on the score or two and maybe make this a little more respectable. I'm sure the Bobcat second teamers would like to. Thank you, Quentin Stover. Back here, the Bobcats on top 48-14 as we start the fourth period of play. Running clock is wound into play as the Bobcats have that big lead. But Logan threatening to kind of cut into that again here as they face the Bobcats second team defense.
Logan wants to leave those starters in as long as possible. Get them reps. They're trying to get some experience for this team.
Walsh takes the snap. He'll roll to his left, trying to get outside. He's not going to get there. Nice defensive play by the Bobcats. Seth Kobe, 5'10", 175-pound sophomore. Kobe came in there and just like the varsity, throws Walsh for a sack. Big one, way back out to the 30-yard line. You got to like that.
10-yard loss.
Young, fresh guys getting in there with a lot of energy and enthusiasm. And it'll be second and long from the Cambridge 32. Walsh out of the pistol set, takes the snap. Bumped in the backfield. He's going to keep it himself, trying to break it to the outside. Does. Gets to the 25-20, looks for the cutback, and it gets piled up on at about the 16-yard line. Scotty Minnis, who got sucked inside there a little bit, recovered to make the play along with Kobe. And let's see if he got enough there to move the sticks. It was going to be second and long. It'll be third down, and picked up about 15 that time on a busted play. It looked like he was going to hand it off to Miner in the backfield. This time Miner offset to the left side. Bobcats again bringing the heat. Takes the snap, throws it deep into the end zone. Jump ball back there, and that ball falls incomplete through the hands of the intended receiver. Bryce Handel in coverage for the Bobcat. Looked like Landon Little that time that just had a hard time locating the ball. That was just thrown high into the air, try to get it to the corner of the end zone.
Handel did a nice job on the coverage right with the receiver and turned at the right time.
It'll be fourth down and 4. Bobcats had an earlier situation similar to this where they jumped offside and gave the Chieftains a free first down. Got to wonder here if that may not be a little strategy again. Twin receivers to the left, one wide to the right. Walsh again into the gun. Takes the snap, looks out to the right, fires it out there, and that one just a little wide of his intended receiver. As the Bobcat coverage again, Bryce Handel out there had him covered up pretty well. Jensen Wallace unable to run that one down, and Logan will turn it over on downs. We'll see maybe the second team Bobcat offense here as well. And, you know, in coaching for many years, it's a fun time of the game because you get a lot of kids in the game, but it's also a harrowing time of the game as a coach because you're looking around trying to say, I need a guard, I need a center.
Make sure we're all ready to go.
Play tight end? Do we have 11 guys out there trying to get a lot of guys into the game and make sure you have people playing positions that they're used to playing?
Right, and you hope that the Bobcats have enough depth that they can say, okay, JV team, get in there, you know, because they do have a JV schedule, and that would make some sense.
Cooper Kearns checks in for the Bobcats at quarterback and hands it off. And that one handed back to Latrell Payton, and there was nothing going that time. As the Bobcats taking over at their own 16 or 17, lost a yard on that one. Wasn't a whole lot going on up front there. It looks like Logan still has their first team defense in there. Bobcats second team offense. They'll flip the formation, 2 receivers to the left, hand off to the fullback, and back to the line of scrimmage. Not a whole lot there. Jeffrey on the carry for the Cats. Trevon Jeffrey. And then the tricky thing here is that the Bobcats got to punt the ball away. What team do you send in to punt it? Do you send in your first team punter and punt team, or can you make it happen?
At this point on the field, I think you do send your first team back.
Yeah,
and if you were
I'd say
midfield,
so too.
you can go and try with the second team.
Third and long. Kearns rolls out to his right, fires it down the field, has a man, and it is completed. Out there to Ben Stillions. Nice job by Stillions. That pass up over his head. He jumped up and hauled it down, and that's going to move the stick. So nice job by Kearns that time. rolling to his right, throwing on the run, and puts it on target. And Stillions pulls it down for a first down. 7.5. That clock continues to run. And I'm starting to see some white jerseys worked in on defense as well, as Logan's starting to work in some second teamers. Kearns, 2 receivers wide to his left, takes the snap, hands it off that way. Trying to get to the corner is Peyton. Peyton will get it outside the edge there and turn it up. A gain of about 4 or 5. Charlie Klein, the defender on the stop there, as the clock winds under 7 minutes left here in the fourth period. Sure would be nice if the Bobcats could end this one the way they started it, with a time-consuming drive to preserve that score on the board there. 48-14. Cambridge has led it coast to coast here. 2nd down and 4. Kearns, quick snap. Again, trying to get to the outside and making a cut. Still on his feet is Peyton. And he'll get it out across the 45, and another Cambridge first down. David Talbot on the stop for the Chieftains. But Bobcats' second team offense starting to get their rhythm and timing a little bit here.
It's 3 carries, 18 yards now for Peyton.
Twin receivers, wide to left. Aaron Johnston, one of them. The handoff, first man through, and stumbles through the hole that time. Jeffrey had a little bit of a hole, and he was leaning so far forward he couldn't keep himself upright. Picked up about 3. Under 6 minutes now. So the Bobcats are going to get to 4-0 on the season and gaining more confidence with that. As Kearns, who hustled to the sideline, will head back in. David Moore, Michael Weber, split wide to the left. Hand up. Once again, Peyton off the right side. He'll pick up a couple before he gets tossed backward that time. David Talbot again on the stop. As Devontae Best checks in at a wide out as well.
Bobcats keeping it simple here.
3rd and 7. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him just go for it here on 4th down if they don't pick up the first down. Offset eye to the left side. On the stretch play. Peyton not able to get to the corner. He's going to be stacked up for a loss right at the 50-yard line. Colton Ruff and Connor Ruff. The Ruff brothers making that a rough play. And now Bobcats punt team coming on the field, and it does indeed. Now this will be the key thing with all those fresh faces out there. You get 11 guys out there.
I tell you, it looks like the normal punt team.
It is.
It does have Leaper and Alex Valentine as the long snapper, so at least that part of it is the
I
regular punt
11.
team.
I count 11. It may not be the right 11, but there's 11. And
someone's counting differently, apparently.
Flag on the play. They stopped it momentarily. They'll wind it back up. Clock continues to run at 4:04. They'll reset for the punt. High snap. Leaper has to go through his hands. He'll chase it down, and he's going to have to run with it. No room to punt it, and he'll be slung down back at about the 34-yard line. That ball hit him high in the hands. That I think he might have taken his eye off it a little bit, as Logan is going to end up with it with another Bobcat gift in pretty good field position here. They'll have it at the Cambridge 29. Only 2 scores they got tonight. They started drives in Cambridge territory.
It'll be a little tougher now with a running clock at this point.
Well, and it does look like Logan as well
A lot of white
go
jerseys.
with a second team offense as they trying to make sure they can get 11 in there. Cats got their second team defense in there as well. It was kind of backed up against it. 3:21 left here in the fourth period. Logan takes the snap. Fake on the inside. Braden Spader will fake it inside, try to keep it going around the right side. Connor Lepla out there for the Bobcat to wrap him up after a short game. And we're under 3 minutes left in this one. Got to be happy. Bobcat coaching staff have been able to stay healthy and gain some momentum, get better through 4 weeks of this season, and then head into league play. And next week, always a tough place to play. Go to Coshocton, and Coshocton sporting a brand new field turf up there.
Oh, nice.
They finished up a project last year to complete a stadium renovation, and including field turf. So that'll be the Bobcats' first opportunity this year to get out on something fast. Spader, pass it out in the left flat. I don't know if that, I'm going to say that was a completed pass. Casey Heft, they're going to say he did haul it in, but short of the first down. It's going to be third down at about 4. Stay tuned. Our post-game wrap-up tonight. We'll have our play of the game brought to you by Dirty Dog Pet Salon City, and our drive of the game brought to you by Buckeye Tours, our Crino's Pizza of Cambridge player of the game, all on our ABC post-game report. Third down, 4 for the Chieftains. Hand off to the deep back, Preston Yates, and he'll be close to the line of the game. J.T. Swank on the stop for the Bobcats. They'll see where they mark him, and that will move the sticks with 1:26 left on the clock. 48-14, Bobcats. I really kind of anticipated this game would be a little closer than this, John, but we'll take it. First and 10, coming up on a minute left here. As Spader, a freshman quarterback, gets his team set. Takes the high snap, looks down the field, fires one deep down the right side and deep into the end zone. That's over the head of everybody defensively. Bobcats in coverage that time. Cody Moore and Bryce Hanel. And even with the incomplete pass and the big lead, the clock continues to run. We're under 40 seconds and counting. Logan can probably get off one more play here. And they'll send out 3 wide. Spader, with 21 seconds left, takes the snap, hands it off. No, the fumble. Ball loose on the field and picked up by the Bobcats. Like 52, not Harrison Ogle, 62. Jad Mahari. The Mahari comes up with it. Good number. Jad, that was my number in high school, 62.
62.
62. I always like to see somebody out there doing
So
good
I would have
things
taken
with
you
that
for
number.
a tight end, not a lineman.
Yeah,
though.
well, yeah. I always said I had better hands than a lineman. Coach said, "Here, take this number and be happy. Go play the line." So change of possession here. The Bobcats with 14 seconds left will send the offense back out to take a knee. And, they won't even get a chance to do that. They're going to wind it into play, and that's going to end things right there. So the Bobcats move their season record to 4-0, and the Chieftains are going to drop to 0-3, or 0-4 that is, with a 48-14 final score. Stay tuned. Our post-game wrap-up coming up on ESPN Cambridge right after this.
Cambridge Classic Ford in downtown Cambridge prides themselves on offering the largest inventory and the best customer service in the area. Visit their lot and experience the classic difference. The classic difference provides customers a service above and beyond what you'll find anywhere else. Their service department, body shop, and parts department strive for the best service and pricing in southeastern Ohio. Stop by the lot and browse their large selection of new and pre-owned inventory, ask about easy financing, or schedule an oil change. That's Cambridge Classic Ford in downtown Cambridge. Stop by and experience the classic difference for yourself.
Do you or someone you know need assistance paying for prescription medications? The Area Agency on Aging Region 9 is working to identify Medicare beneficiaries who may qualify for the Extra Help program. This program can assist to help pay prescription drug costs, monthly premiums, annual deductibles, co-pays, and provide gap coverage which is associated with the Medicare prescription drug plan. Please contact our office at 740-435-4904 to see if you qualify.
Everyone goes to the
Advanced, patient-centered orthopedic care. The precise treatment you need. Because balancing your life is so much easier with orthopedic care right here at home. Southeastern Med, your community hospital.
Fun begins right now on ESPN Cambridge. Postgame wrap-up brought to you tonight by ABC Technical Services. Computer problems? Email the pros at abctech@yourradioplace.com. They'll get you back up running and fast. Running like the Bobcats were tonight. Up running and fast. Opening drive of the ball game. Bobcats take it 67 yards. Nathan Snodgrass from a yard out. Got the Cats on top early. Brady Walsh found Jensen Wallace early second period to tie it up, and that was the last the Bobcats would be close in this ball game. 7-7 at the 10:23 mark. The Cats would add a 39-yard run by Alex Leeper, William Lowe from 4 yards out, and Snodgrass finding Tuttle in the end of the end zone. And it was 28-14 at the end of the first half, Bobcats, and they tacked on more in the second half. Snodgrass again, a touchdown pass to Trent Valentine. Not to be outdone, Alex Valentine, a touchdown pass, and then Rusty Hayhurst capping it off with a late touchdown at the end of the third period. 48-14, your final score tonight as the Bobcats move to 4-0 on the season. The Chieftains dropping to 0-4. Always on our post game. As we wrap things up, we have our play of the game brought to you by Dirty Dog Pet Salon and City. Have your dog groomed at Dirty Dog Pet Salon, located on Cochrane Avenue in Cambridge. Big play tonight, kind of early on for the Bobcats, as this game was tied 7-7, and Alex Leeper back to punt the ball, and kind of scampered off to his right, faked the punt, tucked it under his arm, and ran 39 yards to the end zone. That put the Bobcats in front to stay. That our play of the game, brought to you by Dirty Dog Pet Salon and Sitting. And Alex Leeper, another good night kicking the ball, and didn't have to really punt it very many times. As a matter of fact, I have the Cats only with one punt all night long. That's not too bad.
Not too bad.
They turned it over a few times.
Well, they ran it once.
They ran it once, but they maybe intended to do so. Our drive of the game starts right off the get-go. Every week, Buckeye Tour sponsors our drive of the game. If you're thinking of taking a trip, call Buckeye Tours at 439-1977 or stop by their new office on Wheeling Avenue. Our drive of the game right out of the chute as the Cats took the opening drive, 13 plays, 67 yards. Nathan Snodgrass punching it in from a yard out, but William Lowe, the workhorse in that opening drive, carrying the ball for the bulk of most of his yards tonight. He got a lot of them in the first half, close to a 100-yard night for him, and the Bobcats took an early lead that did not look back. Our Buckeye Tour play of the game. And yet again, our player of the game, and each week, Crino's Pizza of Cambridge sponsors our player of the game. A large one-item pizza, 2 liters of their favorite soft drink. Cambridge Pizza of Cambridge uses only the freshest ingredients. Call Crino's Pizza of Cambridge at 432-2200. If you're in your car on the way home, hey, get a victory pizza tonight. As the Cats celebrating victory number 4. Our player of the game probably has some pretty impressive night there, although the Cats didn't rack up tons of yards tonight. Nathan Snodgrass, 3 touchdown passes, a touchdown run. The only blemish on his play tonight was an errant pass that he'd like to have back, because it really was about the only blemish on his play all night long. He threw a pick. The Bobcat defense able to atone for it, though. They got out and got a stop. But Nathan Snodgrass, our Cambridge Bobcat, Crino's of Cambridge player of the game.
Well, I'm quickly trying to do some math and get some stats here, but the Bobcats pretty impressive offensively. Led on the ground by Will Lowe, 13 carries for 97 yards, all that in the first half. Rusty Hayhurst takes over tailback duties in the second half. He carries 10 times, gets 56 yards. So the two of them combining for well over 150 yards. You also throw in Alex Leeper with the 1 touchdown run, and actually ended up with 2 runs for 23 yards because of the 1 bad snap on the second punt, their punt late there. But then a couple of the young guys get in there. Peyton comes in, 5 carries, 18 yards, and number 15, Trevon Jeffrey, gets a pair of carries for 5 yards. So the Bobcats basically 200 yards of rushing tonight. When you add all that up, did a nice job on the ground. Nathan Snodgrass, as we said, the player of the game tonight, 9 of 11, 151 yards, a couple touchdown passes, did a really nice job. The one pick at the end of the first half, take that away, though, and did a real solid job for the Bobcats tonight. Receiving-wise, Trent Valentine, 3 catches for 75 yards. Logan Tuttle with 3 catches for 40 yards. Lee Colvin with 2 catches for 17 total. And then you got Ben Stillion, 1 catch for 9, and also Alex Valentine with an 18-yard catch. That was also good for a touchdown.
Bobcats pick up win number 4. Impressive fashion. I don't know that either one of us expected this game to be the blowout that it was. 48-14, the final score.
Yeah, and then, the Cambridge defense, a lot of points for the offense, but the defense did well as well. Logan only with 22 yards on the ground, 105 through the air, so about 127 yards total for the Logan. So that's a great job by the Bobcat defense to contain that offense.
When your defense is that dominating,
yes,
it gives your offense lots of opportunities. Cats took advantage of those tonight. They had the short field a few times, punched it in there. When you look at this too, certainly wasn't a perfect game on the part of the Bobcats. They turned the ball over 3 times in the first half, but still led it 28-14 at halftime. Able to overcome those mistakes. Gain some more confidence, some playing experience for some young guys tonight. And I know we named Nathan Snodgrass our player of the game. I think he grew a little bit tonight. We've seen him struggle in the first 3 or 4 games, but it looks like he's starting to find a little more confidence. He's throwing the ball more on time. He's anticipating where his receivers are going to be, spreading it around a little bit, using some different guys. He's getting the entire Valentine family involved instead of just Trent. And that just makes him a stronger team.
I tell you what, you got a senior quarterback who's only started one other game prior to this year, and really, I don't know that he ever had a ton of time playing in the freshman level or junior high level, because I know Garth played a lot of quarterback, and Brendan Holdren did. Some other kids that maybe aren't even playing anymore, but got to play some quarterback. So Nathan's really kind of stepped into that role and has done a really nice job so far this year, and give him a lot of credit for that development, and also give the coaching staff a lot of credit for calling some plays and getting those receivers open where he can make kind of quick passes and show off his strong arm and get the ball there very quickly.
Yeah, if you're listening to us tonight on ESPN Cambridge or online or happen to be checking out the video stream, we appreciate you hanging in there with us. Want to thank Quentin Stover, Justin Ames, Daniel Barnett back at the station, Joel and Jared and Amy here. They did a great job. I think everything worked out well tonight. We didn't get knocked off the air once, did we? That's great action. I love it.
Good deal.
I love it when a plan comes together with the 18. Final score tonight, the Bobcats pick another victory up 4-0 now, 48-14 over the Logan Chieftains. For John Charlton, thanks, John, for filling in tonight. I know I took you away from your normal fatherly duties of yelling at the refs on
absolutely,
on the
but
we kept you under control.
Not a lot to yell about tonight with the referees, that's
Thank
for
you,
sure.
and Paul Eric for sitting in spotting with us. I'm Bill Kafuri. Next week, the Bobcats back on the road at Coshocton. We'll have all the action for you there. Big winners tonight, 48-14. Cats get the W. Till next week, see you then.
Cambridge High School Bobcat Football. Tonight's game is brought to you by Southeastern Med, Whitesides of Cambridge, Theo's Restaurant, Cambridge Classic 4, and Area Agency on Aging Region 9. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports.